resources you got.
As a fun little mini reminder, when Jiri killed Coda, Jiri was Thane Gaspard.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God, she's gonna
also,
have True Sight or something
but we've also I've been whatchamacallit, Scribeville.
on regular Jiri.
How did she scribe?
I think we're about to learn a whole new meaning to what regular Jiri means.
It's the little frog.
I was thinking about this when
Not a
as
frog,
session
salamander.
84.
Salamander.
one thing as a party, just an interesting. I was thinking about we were texting last night. I almost said this in the chat, but it's so not really helpful. But it is worth remembering when Coda ranked the Talons for us when we asked him to, in whatever way that was. She was listed as third, and I think the description was witch or something with 4 in magic. So like, I think one thing our characters could be thinking is like, we might be about to see magic we've never comprehended before. And whatever that means for us as players, you know, wizard, sorcerer, creature. I just think the rules are going to be different when we're in her presence. All of this is such a testament to the build-up you've done, Crit, for this character. Like, it's such a subtle thing in a book when an author builds up to a character that you don't meet, yet you have a sense of them before you meet them. And, like, our dread and fear right now and, like, enthusiasm is, like, a subtle thing that has accumulated over years of hearing about this person in snatches.
I love that. All right, well, we can certainly dive in here and
Alright,
see
change
what
the music,
happens.
you little bastard.
Oh, fuck, I'm not even in the session.
Oh yeah, let's make sure everyone's in there. Let's see.
Oh, I'm not either.
I'm titling these notes. We got.
We got.
We got when normally we got on get.
No, we go get.
We
go
get gotten. No, we got getting.
I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though.
Yeah, who was that? Was that
Marshawn
Marshawn
Lynch.
Lynch? Yes. Yes. All right, looks like Mike and Tim.
I was missing Twin Elms that whole
joined.
time.
Oh yeah, baby.
Fuck.
Alrighty. It is currently Fredas, the 14th of Sun Dawn.
Wait, say that again?
It is Fredas, the 14th of Sun's Dawn. February 14th, Valentine's Day, y'all.
Woo!
It is the day that the Forsaken Winds, alongside General Mathros of the Selethar, as well as a large portion of the United Kin army, were set to march against the Durastian war camps west of Athero's siege. Your victory was very swift. You tore through the defenses of the camp with ease, with minimal casualties. But upon searching the inner campgrounds, you found no reinforcements or meaningful supplies, and then were immediately alerted by Roulette's Aura Corps members that the camp from the sky had been surrounded, with Durastian troops barely visible but lining the hills on the horizon to the east and north, stretching for miles, with the only distinguishing characteristic being the bright glint of armor in the distance that gleams far more brightly than the rest. And as you all realize that the trap you have seemingly walked into, a woman steps from behind Roulette and invites your party and the general into the main war tent for a conversation. The distinctive dread iron pauldron, fitting of a Talon station, adorns her right arm, and she holds an oddly shaped Vantablack staff in her left. After taking a very brief moment to steel yourselves, you all begin filing into the tent at her request. Toby Rama, did you have spells you were intending to cast?
Yes, I'm gonna cast Warding Bond on Jiri and Tongues on myself.
Tongues on yourself, warding bond on Jiri. Okay. Daisy stays outside, Roulette.
Yep.
The rest of you begin to file in with Mathros at Telperian's side.
I guess I'm gonna give Loaf a command to keep a periphery of the tent and to chirp if any any semblance of life approaches us.
Okay. Switch music again. You all begin to enter this war camp, and the woman just stands very calmly at one end of the table, allowing your entrance. You guys can kind of place yourselves here inside the tent where you like.
I will do the
She-
thing. I will hold the tent flap open, and then I will stay there once everyone's in.
Okay. Yes, yes, welcome, welcome. Please, make yourselves comfortable. Take a seat if you'd like. Allow me to get a good look at all of you with my own eyes. And I will throw her up on the screen once more. Beautiful human woman with some sort of rune on her forehead, dark flowing black and or extremely dark brown hair that falls to her side, a series of skulls with runes etched into them hanging from her hip, and perhaps most notably this odd, what looks like it may have been liquid form and then cast into solid or something in this weird mutated shape, this Vantablack staff that she's clutching onto. And then obviously the distinguishing Vantablack draconic skull dread iron pauldron on her arm. It has been some time you have all been on my radar. It's wonderful to meet at last. Mortal courtesy suggests I should address the highest ranking in your attendance. Your customs are strange, but I enjoy trying to abide their oddities. Greetings, General. It is a pleasure to have you. Please do me the favor of fixating in your mind the well-being of your troops as we continue to engage in pleasantries. Yes? You just see your father, Telperion, standing upright, maintaining some semblance of calm and dutiful rigidity, but clenching his jaw a bit. Then she looks at you, Telperion. And the little general's princeling. I've heard entertaining tales of your hot temper and defiant stubbornness. Do make sure that your actions here don't threaten your entire people. It'd be a shame for their survival in the forests months ago, due to Talon Vitreous failures, to be amended here on the battlefield. This was her tent, you know, before I altered she and the Arknight's battle plans. She's out there now, eager to cut her way to the general, if I allow it. And the humans, the renowned engineer. Your ingenuity has availed the maker of some new applications in recent months. Thank you for that. He's quite enthused. And the medallion bearer. Thank you for bringing it. Though I will admit it's lost a little bit of its luster after your donation, Spirit. Thank you for making it available to my Oni assistant before her untimely relocation to her natural plane. I've made great strides in my understanding of Divinor thanks to it. It hasn't been destroyed yet, but it will be soon if I achieve my goal. And my lovely, lovely prize. Looking at Jiri.
Stares at her back. He's got his hand on his sword.
I see you've adorned a new disguise. I must say I prefer the charcoal gray of your drow features more. This is a bit gaudy and bright. And I see him too. Hiding in your flesh, writhing at my very words. My greatest experiment. And now, the two most valuable subjects for my experiments return to me in one bundled package. I thank you for the convenience. if I might glean some understanding of each of you, how do you think this is going to unfold? Our forces far outnumber your own. What do you think your value is to me?
At this time, I'd like to try and glean. Does her hair flow in the breeze the same way ours is? Is she here? Is she an illusion? Is she physically here with us?
Go ahead and make a perception check. Since this is not passive understanding, you're intently trying to suss out information. It'll be very active. 28. The subtle way her thumb rubs along the hilt of her staff, just the resonance of her voice, the distinct but subtle sulfuric scent in the air, you suspect this is no illusion and that a true individual stands in front of you here in this space.
I'll give Telperion a little mental ping. Just not an illusion. This is her.
I want to respond to her question. So is Ostennis unguarded then, if the three Talons are here? And how many forces do you have surrounding us? And you're here. Have you come this far south at creation sometime? I would estimate that our value is quite high for the commitment you've made. You honor us.
It is unfortunate that I have to honor you. I would love to spin tales of how you are nothing more than a footnote under us, a thorn in our side. But Kota, old and feeble as he was still formidable in his own right. And you slaying him earned you our attention, that's for sure. You're right. I don't enjoy coming this far south to this dank landscape. These gray rolling hills of nothingness. Far less imposing and grand than the mountainous Durastian landscape to the north. But I hope to acquire some value while I'm here. As for the presence at Ostennis, don't worry. As we are here, the king sits atop the prison palace throne at this moment. Perhaps you'd like to meet him soon. I can arrange that.
What could he care for us? Slaying his friend, Kota, is enough to warrant his interest?
No. Those two are no friends. He's probably happy the man is in his grave at this point. He was always a stubborn relic of the past, fighting for old values that have no place in these worlds now. The king doesn't really care for, or even know much about you all other than my assertion that it was worth a meeting. He'd much rather we just get back to his goal. But before we do that, I need to figure out if Divinor has the value he thinks it does. He assures me it does, but we will see in time.
There is one way this meeting ends up. Kota underestimated us. Maybe you are as well. This could end with my sword through your chest.
I think you'll find that might prove difficult. I would hope more difficult than the way you took down Talon Kota. Certainly possible I don't know all of your capabilities. But I think I know most of yours, dear. Here's what I want to happen. Yeah, Telperion, did you have a timeout comment you wanted to make?
Or you say this juicy thing, should we jump because it's 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, let's go for it.
I think we need to update or something.
Mm.
So here's what I would like to happen. You don't know him yet, but one of the things I admire most about the Supreme Leader is his security and his confidence to let those in his command make their own judgment calls. This is one of mine. This whole thing was my idea. Talon Vitri was eager to defend this location and even cut her way through your forces, but I had to abate her eagerness and earn myself a chance at you all first. Jax, or Jiri, I never was able to pry from you your real name, was I? Will be leaving here with me. You, all his friends, are welcome to join if you think that is wise. There are many of you I'd like to spend more time with. But General, you are to have your troops surrender to us. If you do so, you have my word that your troops will be taken as prisoners, rather than being spread across the battlefields here as worm food. Got two things you guys want to do?
You can go
Roulette
first.
raised her hand first. Yeah, what you got?
Knowing Durast and battles, do I believe that she would actually take prisoners?
Go ahead and make a history check. And Jiri, did you have something you wanted to say or something you wanted to think about?
Jiri is going to pop a squat in the chair at the head of the table here and start taking a short rest. And he's going to say, "Oh, yeah, you can have Jax all you want. That's fine. That's actually a good thing. We want him out of my body anyway, so it sounds like we're aligned on that idea." He's going to kick his feet up on the table.
Getting very comfortable. Perfect.
Like kick a dish over or something like that.
Roulette, with a 16, you do think, based on your knowledge of Durastian warfare tactics, you do think they're fairly ruthless, but this individual does have a level of command, and the way she lingered on the word does maybe give you indication that maybe it's possible she's telling the truth. Like, it's not really an insight-based check, but more of this person might have more command over day-to-day ongoings than their general MO.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Rome, what you got?
Can I try and sense whether my Divinor base is actually in the room or not?
Sure. How would you do that? Are you casting a specific spell, trying to just look for it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I could attempt to commune with nature.
Okay. Does that have
But then
verbal somatic components where it would be very distinct that you're casting a spell at that time?
yeah, there are verbal and somatic. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Do you want
Yeah,
to
okay.
try
I'm
and
gonna
do that?
attempt to do it. I'm gonna, in the corner, attempt to commune with nature, ritually.
Okay. As you begin to mutter, Moira simply taps her staff on the ground and looks in your direction, and your magic just flutters out of your hand.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that
I
was
think I was rather clear about the repercussions of any odd antics here in this tent. I give the word, and all those forces of yours will be spread amongst the ground.
Then why offer to take him prisoner if it's that simple?
Because I'm hoping you will allow this one to come with me. If I leave with him, your forces will be spared. They will be taken as prisoners. We can't simply allow them back to your army. But we'll find ways of booking all of those thousands of troops you have.
What makes you think that you have the power to do this? Who gives you the right or the power to take control of our armies and take Jiri away from us?
Well, she's not taking Jiri, she's taking Jax. I ain't going to jail again,
I
that's
thought
for
you were
sure.
sleeping.
No, I'm not sleeping.
You're just resting.
I'm short resting. I'm short resting.
She says, I don't know who you think needs to give me the authority to do as I please. My actions are availed to me by the king himself, and this offers martial advantage in addition to my own pet needs. So, General, your troops. Will you fight? Will you try and flee? Or will you have their lives spared?
May I ask a question before he answers?
Of course, Princeling.
Who are you? We don't often make deals with those whom we don't know. We know virtually nothing of you except rumor, secrets.
It is funny you should phrase your words in that way. For making deals with those like myself can have long-lasting consequences. My name is Moira.
Hi, Moira.
I am a Talon of Daenor. Amongst other titles I hold dear. But those, perhaps for another time. For now, what you need to know is I am operating within my bounds of the king's requirements. But bringing you all with me is a bit of my own judgment call. Will you come with me? And she extends her hand toward Jiri while looking at the general.
Listen, lady, you can have Jax as much as you want, but Jiri, not going with you. Sorry. You're kind of freaky.
Can I ping my dad?
Yeah.
I just want to send him a thought. Is it worth giving her the armies for anything?
You'll hear back in your mind. Son, in Elvish, for the extra touch of comfort. Son, I would that I could go with you to her. But the safety of our people needs to come before any emotional connection I have. If I can spare thousands, I must try. I will pull them out, have them surrender. At your word, Talon. Of course. You have it. And she extends her other arm toward General Mathros, and Mathros reaches across the table.
Can I put his hand on my dad's first?
You're welcome to put your hand on your dad's shoulder, a part of him, but he does meet Moira's grasp and shake hands. Thank you, General.
And for the rest of the troops, they're free to go, right? Because what you just shook on was on a specific contingent of Elvish
Your
troops.
forces here. Yes, I think you'll find even my word can't necessarily save the northern portion of the effort against the caches of wildfire they will find stored in those encampments. We had to leave some measure of defense behind at the Arcanite's removal from that area. If they're able to survive that, you can have Atheros. What is it? A bunch of peasants and starved populaces desperately clinging to survival? Hardly a threat. And I suspect that if I leave with you all now, an important leg of your ladder falls. Again, you have earned our attention for a reason. You're more than a thorn in our side. You're critical to their efforts.
What would leaving with you entail?
Primarily experimentation. I need information from my prize escaped months and months ago and now returned to me so graciously. I need to keep you all somewhere safe, out of the conflicts of this war. There are many of you I wish to study, but it all starts with him. Or them. Looking at Jiri. Yes,
And
the entity that writhes within you is perhaps even more important than you are to me. But you're close, I suspect.
My dad, Adras? Well, he's also not going with you. Like I said, you can have Jax. That's the deal. We gotta meet halfway somewhere, right? This is a negotiation. We give you guys a little bit, you give us a little bit.
I'm sorry, the negotiating part of this is how many lives will be spared as you leave with me. That part is non-negotiable. That is the crux of the final clause of this agreement.
Listen, I've learned a lot. One thing is that everything is negotiable. That's why we're here. We're having a conversation.
Has he been like this for a long time? Looking to the rest of you. In this form, I mean. With this demeanor, personality.
Form, demeanor.
Do you think elves have wrinkles like these without someone like him around? What is he?
A rare specimen. And I wish to know more.
One of a kind, Jajiri, yeah.
General, please see to your troops. I'm sure our forces are getting antsy, eager to march forward. Have them come lay down their arms outside the gates and come into the encampments, and our forces will approach harmlessly. You see a clenched jaw, and General Mathro says, "Be safe. Take care of yourselves." And gives you each a nod, and then walks out of the tent.
What was their agreement?
Surrender
That
that.
should he surrender the troops, they will not be slain.
Wait, but
Is
like just
the very simplified version of it.
just the elven troops or all the troops?
I think everybody. Because he commands all of them. They're all our forces.
Telperion, if you want, you can make an Arcana check.
You know what? I think I'll take you up on that.
Flicker our camera when you get your camera.
Can I what?
Flicker our camera.
You mean flicker it?
No, the video. When you get a chance.
I don't know what flicker means. I rolled a 2 plus 3, so 5.
Yeah, that's what you remember of the agreement. Pretty straightforward surrender, and they won't die. Which, again, based off Roulette's historical understanding of their battle tactics, does seem somewhat generous for Durast.
I just throw a quick ping to everyone. So that deal in the army aren't our concern now, if that deal is done.
That deal's not. That's a rat storm cloud of a deal. I don't agree with it. You don't think they're gonna betray us? Come on, this lady's word.
Are you thinking that to me or saying it out loud?
I'm thinking it to you.
Oh, I'm just saying we can probably try to bid for our own freedom now. Without worry of the consequences for the army since that deal was made.
Except for the fact that Jiri's not going to be free.
You didn't hear that because I was thinking it to Jiri.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I thought it was to everybody.
No, when I ping, I have to do it individually. So if you guys respond, you would respond to me individually.
Got it. Okay.
I'd rather die right here now than go to jail.
I'm not saying you, Jiri. We could all escape together. The deal was made to protect the armies. We're not going to give you...
If we escape, she's gonna kill the armies. You know that.
Boyra, I'm having a hard time accepting the notion of us laying down everything we have here to just go with you and agree to sit in cells so you can experiment on us. You think we'll do that for Jiri's safekeeping? Without any information?
I was hoping so. I suppose it depends on the strength of the connections you've all made, and since you've met this individual. If you're not interested in coming, you're welcome to surrender with the rest of your troops. But I will emphasize, he will be leaving with me. That part is not up for debate. I'd prefer willing hostages, if you would, rather than forcing my way, bullying into my way. But I will take him.
I mean, I like walking into the market and thinking things will be free for my taking, but they're not. You knew that it wouldn't be that simple. What hold do you have over him to make sure he goes so assuredly? He's rather willful.
He may be. I have found that to be the case, actually. You rebutted quite a few of my scrying attempts. Over time, I was able to gather information, but more slowly than I would have liked. It was only just 2 days ago I was able to enact these adjustments to our plans. We would have appreciated more time. But
Hey, lady, what do you want with my dad? Why is he so important to you?
I don't quite understand what you're referring to as far as your dad, this Adras you mentioned. Don't know what that is. What you carry in your veins is a very important variation of the Dread Iron process. The first of its kind, where we tried to replicate the processes of old, binding great beings to ancient metals suitable for containing their power. Unfortunately, the Dread Iron process was not as refined as I had hoped for at that time, and so it corrupted the metal, turned it liquid, as you've no doubt experienced, rather than our honed metal weapons. It also, in retrospect, would have perhaps been better to use a being with less baggage. But we will remedy that in the next try. But I need to study Experiment 3H. For the king, and for my own curiosities.
And what do you want with Rome's vase?
Well, Divinor has wonderful properties. Very limited in our ability to study it. The vase is really my first blank writ that I can try to do whatever I please with it. I am interested in taking your medallion as well, but the vase suits my needs for now. I need to figure out what I'm looking at there. For many reasons, it's difficult to work with. But the vase is intact. If you want it back, come with me.
Would you?
What is all this metal study for? What's the point of the Divinor investigations? What's the king's goal then? And I'm going to detect thoughts as I ask this question.
Very cool. Surface thoughts just innately happen, yes?
Yeah.
I will say that almost in a Baldur's Gate 3 kind of way. Rather than giving you first-person thoughts, I'll kind of give a little script of... You suspect that there is a eagerness to share. Her arcane and odd experiments are trapped within her mind. She wants to talk about them, but she is going to hold back for logistical reasons. Are you choosing to push deeper?
Yeah. It's a 15 with save.
Let me pull this up.
An inspiration if she rolls well. But this is like arch enemy level motivations. I don't think no, I don't.
Let me check something.
+9.
I believe a 15, and 22 was the bigger roll. So at 22, you will feel your forces slam against her mental walls, rebuffed. Do you want to use resources to try that again?
I have none.
Okay.
I have none.
What's
You
the
see
what's
her-
the
you see her
value here,
eye-
Mike?
You see
for
her
this?
eye kind of twitch as she feels your intrusion.
Tim, the value is, so my question was, why do they care about the Divinor and what's the king's goal? And if I'm detecting her thoughts and I go deeper as she makes this thought, as I've asked this question, and the thought might be down there deeper, if she fails it, I would have insight into like their overall purpose in the war, potentially. I have no inspiration to make this reroll, so I can't.
Oh, and she's got a +9. Yes.
Advantage.
But if we do an inspiration, it would be one roll, not at advantage, I think, because she just made that at advantage.
That's correct. Yeah. The
So she-
running result right now is a 22.
She'd
Using
have to
an
roll a 1 through
inspiration
5.
would-
So I'm not saying anyone should. I'm just saying she'd have to roll a 1 through 5 because she's got +9.
I don't.
Yeah, but I could also force her check to be a certain number, and I'm looking up what that number was.
Jiri does have an available portent die.
I just don't know how juicy this info is going to be, but I feel like I want to do it. I'm just trying to find the number because it might be higher than 5, which would mean it doesn't.
I think I have that stored in my notes as well, but I'd have to look for it.
It's not in my character sheet, so it must be in my notes.
Okay.
I have a 4 left. So I will use an inspiration, and I will use my last portent dice to make it her roll a 4.
Okay. She rolls a 4 plus 9 is 13.
Yeah,
So,
big
Pyrian,
and true.
You feel you press through her senses, and then you feel a surge of reinforcement energy begin to thrust you out anyway. But then it pulls back, indulging a moment of curiosity, and lets you in. You hear a conversation between her and supreme leader of New Durast, King Zavar. And it says something to the lines of, "Your Majesty, please let me study it. It could prove whether your war has merit. It could further improve morale, making them our batteries. It all comes down to the Divinor. I need to be able to see what its properties are before we find more." I am curious. Which? But I can't. Do you see it? If I pull this from my form, I will die. It is all that is keeping me alive. But I assure you, there is more. These are shards of a great beast that once stalked this world, a dark god. Its body lies somewhere, And then you hear Moira say, "If we can turn it." Very well. And you're pulled out of that.
Yeah.
You just got a glimpse into something, didn't you, dear? It's unfortunate. I really do enjoy my experimentation too much. My projects are who I am. It's hard to not think of them often. I suppose my desperation to share with anyone that will listen can be a folly.
Well, we're very interested, seeing as you want to take this one from us.
Yes. Learning from Jiri will help me on a number of fronts. It may also buy you an audience with the king. And perhaps your vase back, spirit. Maybe. I'm still using it for the time being. What do you say? Come with me. And extends her hand to Jiri once more.
Christopher, can I really quickly? She made a comment before, something about like deals and my kind of people or something like that before. Can I make either insight or arcana check as to, like, Steve is trying not to metagame, so can I make some sort
I
of
would
like
say,
check
based on you trying not to metagame and wanting a check, let's have you do a nature check.
Sure.
Or history, your choice.
I'll do nature. I never make nature checks. Boo!
There are sensory bits of information that align with some recent experiences. The smell of sulfur. There are hints of magic at play here, but you're not necessarily sure what kinds or what implications those might have.
Toby will speak up for the first time. This is all very hard to digest,
Ugh.
but all of it,
She audibly just kind of scoffs at annoyance.
all of this rests upon we still do not even know why we are opposing you. We have seen only your actions, a surprise invasion of Creatia, and an attempt into the elves' most inner protections. And so we rebuff you. And no information has been provided, offered, about why you are doing the things you are doing. Does the king seek to conquer the world? Does he just want Creatia? I assume that is very much not the case, but you've been attacking us, and so we've been responding.
Is the medallion visible right now? Do you have it on a staff? Is it hanging on a piece of equipment? Is it in your pocket, a
The
bag?
intent has been to have it tucked in my shirt and
Okay.
not directly visible.
Okay. As you're talking, you see her face change, at once annoyed, and then suddenly curious as your words continue. And as her eyes glow, take on a bright yellow sheen, she looks away slightly, but still is looking at you, like she's trying to look past a glare. Interesting. Toby Rama, make a persuasion check with advantage.
I've got a D8 I'd be potentially willing to use here.
Bruh.
Oh my god. I don't even just have the D8. Oh, making a 10 into an 11 would feel real bad here.
The best you can do is 18, which means you're not
which,
reaching 20.
yeah, that doesn't feel great to me. Damn, 1 and a 4. I have,
well, hold on.
I have a medallion luck point I could use.
Oh, fuck.
So I don't know if you were thinking inspiration, Jiri, but
No, I was gonna use inspiration and then maybe even a bardic inspiration on top of it, but
Hit the luck first.
I want to do my luck point first, and then
Okay.
we'll see if we want to stack on top of
Yeah.
that.
Reigning roll right now is a 10.
And
Luck
so I
point
do
could
one more roll,
change
right?
that. Correct.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use my D8. I'd love to see if I can hit a 25 here. I'm gonna get rid of it in my character sheet.
Okay.
Okay. And roll D8. For 24.
Okay.
That is where I will leave it.
She looks at you curiously and says, "What god do you give allegiance to?"
All of this is like making me react, and I imagine Toby's trying to not react. Is there a check I can make to try and keep a straight face or something? Because
Make
think-
a charisma saving throw. Dex saves, con saves. There's a lot of physical ways to make dex saves. Charisma saving throws are almost always associated with magic, but to maintain composure in a social setting, I want you to make a charisma saving throw. Very good. You're able to keep a straight face, you think.
okay,
Maintaining composure, calm.
Because my thought is she's literally wearing skulls on her hip. She's trying to steal life essence to fuel things. I don't think my god of sanctity of life and death. I think if I proclaim Kellenborg, she's going to be like, "Oh, you're probably too dug in your ways to even consider talking to." Can I try and make potentially a religion check or something to try and think through a god that would maybe somewhat align with my altruistic things we've been doing? She's seen what my actions are, so it's not like I can be, oh, I'm a servant of an evil god, but also something that doesn't so directly align with what I'm thinking she's about.
I will say, based on your backstory and experience, you know there are 3 gods of death that are good-ish aligned. There's Kellenvor, the Eternal Judge. There's the Raven Queen, who's a little bit more chaotic or zealous in her following sometimes. And there was one more god or power mentioned by the Serta Mora. I want you to make a history check to see if you can recall that information. Actually, religion check is fair game.
I want to see if there's anything in my direct notes. No, I think that was okay. What'd you say? History or religion?
History or religion, yeah.
They are the same for me. Damn, that 18 was
The word of that other third entity, power, deity escapes you, but you know the Raven Queen is similar to Kellenvor.
And is it like...
But perhaps more emotionally charged, less disciplined and neutral. Still neutral in her domain, but less sort of stoic and judgmental.
Oh... I am proud of my service so far, I hope my actions are clear enough that me proclaiming a different god, there would be enough insight into me using this as a I don't know.
What do
Okay.
you say?
I'm going to say the Raven Queen.
In the back of your mind, you just hear a crack ring out. You're not sure what from. You just hear a concussive noise just ring out in the back of your mind. Interesting. One of hers, are you? No matter. We'll make hers ours. We'll make her ours eventually. And what was your original question with this as she was looking into you?
Why
was,
are they
that's
attacking
right.
us? Like,
Yeah.
we've just been
Is
attacked and been responding.
After engaging you with this sort of mental standoff, she looks at you and then the rest of you. Is that really what you need? Just our rationalization?
We like to make
seek,
informed decisions.
We seek, and I let you in on a little secret. We don't care about Creatia. We don't care. You're a stepping stone on the way to what we want. I'm not permitted yet to divulge more than that. But although you have proven to be more than a thorn in our side, the ongoings of day-to-day overruling Creatia is nothing to us. We just need to gear up before we continue forward. Your efforts have been helpful in that regard. You and your United Kin army, the Beasts of the South, marching against us. Belladonna is sure to come to our aid any day now. We're ongoing conversations and negotiations at the border as we speak, but that dam will burst soon. And then Belladonna and Duras will be allied against the entire south of the continent, and we will have free reign to do whatever we want. We are, unfortunately, somewhat limited in physical resources until then. But that will end soon. And what we want lies in a location yet unexplored.
I think to Adras.
Sure.
All right, fucker, this is your shot. What are you doing? You just sitting in Jiri watching? You're gonna go with her and let her experiment? Be reclaimed? You're some powerful spirit, right? You got fucking baggage? What are you gonna do? You think she's just gonna hand you answers? This is your shot. This is what you've been waiting for. You gonna go sit in prison cell?
Jump zooms.
Let's jump zooms.
He is the best thing I ever decided to do with Delirium.
Adras, the entity, the hex metal, whatever it is, thinks back to you, and Jiri, you hear it think back to Telperion. Oh, trust me, Telperion. It is requiring much restraint to not want to take her head, cleave it from her shoulders. But what would that avail me of? Nothing. No information. I don't know who I am, what I could have become. We need her. And if she can separate me and Jiri, Then we can take next steps. If Jiri will not go willingly, I will force him to.
Oh, Dad, hold on a second here. I don't think we should go. Maybe we could capture her.
What do you think she's
Not a
going to staple you
chance.
to better than him? Something more rigidly under her control? At least this one has some power to resist her. You want to be her creature again? That's all she's going to view you as. You were hers to summon, to bind to this metal form. The first time, her first experiment, gone wrong.
Perhaps. But we need to learn more. She has the knowledge. Let us see where she makes use of it.
Thus, Dad, your body's in Jawland.
Jiri, I
We
would
can't
like you to
separate until then.
please make a charisma saving throw. You feel your skin begin to heat up, and you can see the tendrils of inky black Vanta black sludge, almost like veins beneath your skin, rise to the surface. Let me out. Go with her, Jiri. And you feel the hex metal's emphasis to make you get up from your chair and walk toward Moira, but you are able to quell it in this moment.
Dad, I just think that's a bad idea.
Maybe it is.
Mom, we're a team. We gotta think this through together. We can't trust this lady.
Roulette will jump in this awkward silence that's happening. Lady Moira, Roulette will step forward and take her flail and just kind of like drop it on the table, kind of also in that same exasperated thing. Lady Moira, you strike me as a smart woman, and I think you've done the math. You're a woman of science, arcane or divine or whatever it is. You know you have the upper hand here. I think I appreciate the fact that I also recognize you have the upper hand here, but you also strike me as a woman of details. Your terms, conditions kind of thing. You're not just gonna take us and taking us for an indefinite amount of time, trying to divide by zero. And I don't think you want to do something like that. How about we put some details, some fine print on whatever you're trying to shake your hands for right now, a time limit of sorts. We come voluntarily for a time. Let's say a week of voluntary, just us coming with you, unharmed. Our stuff stays our stuff, and we don't submit to anything we don't truly want to submit to, but we play along with whatever rules you've got going on. A week of that time, you set the troops free. 2 weeks, you set us free. Smart woman like you shouldn't need more than 10, 14 days to get what you need. But you try and put us through anything we don't want to go through, we become a really big thorn in your side.
I suppose we could have come to an agreement, work through some of the finer points, without figuring out if you even can be a bigger thorn in my side.
Oh, I'm certain I could find a way. And Roulette will wink at Moira.
Moira, what have we got to lose?
Very well. A deal, then. You come with me willingly now. I'm able to study your friend Jiri and the entity within at length, at my leisure. I will promise to mitigate any harm, but I cannot promise harmlessness. This you might consider a simple prick of the skin to be harmful. I will need to gather blood samples, accommodate odd arcane interactions that I can't anticipate. The entity is unique. But I will keep harm to a minimum. I wouldn't want to damage the subjects. I get you for a week's time. Then I bring the king to meet you all. And his majesty determines the time frame for your release.
No.
He's a dismissive man. He may find that you are not worth nothing to him. He may have you released at once. Prefer that I prioritize other Durastian projects over my curiosity with you all. And if he sentences you to death, well, at least you'll get the chance to fight for it. He is a lover of sport. Your troops. We can come to an agreement to release them, but we can't allow them to simply then regroup and march back against us. That makes no sense. We can release them into the wilds or into some nearby settlements that we have a presence in. We won't slay them, but I can't allow their complete and utter freedom back into the army that you march with. That offers us no advantage. Why would I give that to you? Unless I could give you my word of their utter freedom. That I don't lay, or the Talons in our army doesn't lay a finger on them. For 1 month. That could give you time to regroup. Adjust strategy. And what I get out of it is enough experimentation with Experiment 3H that our priorities might shift entirely.
I blast roulette. She wants more than Creatia. We would be giving her the keys to the world. Our army's not worth that.
At roulette, I'll give you an Arcana check with advantage.
Just find that 20.
It finally clicks. The nature check earlier was difficult because this doesn't feel like a natural person. There's other extra sort of supernatural phenomena going on that aligns with other experiences you've had. And finally, you see as her arms, the sort of translucent black sleeves of her gown and dress drape over her arms. As she's speaking these finer points to you, you see a subtle glow on her right arm. And as she extends it to you, you see that there is script written in Infernal that has encased the entirety of her arm. And you very quickly determine, you don't know 100% that she's a devil, but she's clearly commanded legions of devilish officers, attendants. She has sway over infernal magic, as the script on her arm seems to be infernal, a script you guys have encountered before. You get a pretty clear sense that this would be a binding pact, and she would be held to her word, as would you.
Can we take a bio break? I have to pee so bad, and I don't want to leave this.
Sure, yeah, that's fair game. Let's do it. Everyone cool with that?
Yeah.
And also people can think. 'cause we
In
process
character, we also take a bio break to.
that. We all just know.
Perfect. See you guys in a second.
Be a little lumpy. Get over there. You know.
I kind of want to restart the computer.
It's not worth redoing.
This is fun.
Relentless. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
To go with this lady or not to go with this lady?
No,
That is the question.
I refuse.
I mean, I'm kind of tempted because, like, I don't know, we might go to some cool place and we might learn more. And then the escape would be fun.
Well, nobody mentioned potentially an escape plan. She really loves escape plans.
Well, Rome is thinking about an escape plan right now. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a flee option in this moment. It's just
I think, like,
the flee
we
option
either
is consigning
let-
thousands to death.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were saying like escape plan when we go to where this lady wants us.
yeah,
Then
that's what I'm
escape.
saying. I'm
Well,
saying I don't.
nobody
think
mentioned an
we
escape
don't
plan.
have the option. You're going with her, whether you like it or not, and the option is, do we want to come with her?
Jury's ready to die right here and now. I'll roll up a new character sheet.
Yeah, but I don't think she wants to kill you because there's research to be done.
Yeah, I think she would restrain you somehow or something. I don't know, but
Yes.
Have any of you guys gotten snow yet? Because it's snowing here. It's our first snow.
it's all
Yeah,
melting
we've been
now.
getting a lot over the last couple of days, actually.
I think your storm is coming to us in a few days too.
Oh, nice.
It's not the way weather works.
I know. Someone else said that. I was like, it goes from west to east.
Someone told us we were getting a
I
storm.
know they were wrong, and I didn't want to correct them.
Oh.
No, it goes that way.
Roulette, wait. And I like hold my hand out towards Roulette's arm. Moira, we are five. Not one of us can make this decision alone. We must speak of this for at least a moment before we just shake your hand and walk into your land.
I understand completely. Please do. You may want to, if you're going to come with me, you may want to bring that roaming creature outside, both of you, I think, with you. Don't want to leave them behind. We've already taken some engineering bits from you before, so I want to make sure you are able to keep them with you this time. The Maker might find good use for this one as well.
Roulette just stares back at her, doesn't say anything, doesn't react, just stares.
Please, conversate amongst yourselves.
Oh, could
I'm
Wild
eager to
Sage
hear what you
Blossom come with
mentioned.
us?
What is a wild sage blossom?
Judy, shut up.
Hold on. Let's give her something to read. She clearly doesn't know who I am. Can you take out the book about me and give it to her while we discuss? That way she's got something to do. Rum,
think
give me that book.
I think I had it last because I was
Someone had it,
checking
yeah.
something over.
Book me.
I tossed Jerry the book.
I hand it over to Moira. Yeah, take a look at this. You're gonna need to catch up a little bit.
She
Feel like
as
you're
you
a little
hold it
bit
out to her-
behind on my lore.
As you hold it out to her, she just reaches her hand curiously and like gestures with her hand, and you see like cinders creep around the edge of the book, but then pull it out of your grasp and float over to
That's
her
cool.
hand.
Burning
Don't-
mage
don't-
hand.
Burning
Don't
Mage
burn
is
it.
Awesome.
She starts to curiously look at the book.
So just Telperian's gonna think something at you guys, and when Telperian thinks something at you, he doesn't want it stated out loud. So just know that the next sentence I say, if you're responding to it, like the intent is that you don't just blurt it out loud. Although you might not say, I think that.
We're all just like staring at each other, like.
So Telperian throws the thought to you. We are denying her nothing that she wants. If we give her the leg of the army and a quarter of the army, we have to deny her something before we make a deal. It has to
Telperian,
head up.
please make a wisdom saving throw.
And 11.
Thank you. Go on.
That's all. That was all I had to say.
I think back. I don't think we don't have any leverage. Either we try and escape right
Correct, she says while reading the book.
now. Amazing. I will start saying this out loud. We don't have any leverage, as she has so acutely pointed out. Either the troops get slain now, or we get them some freedom potentially to get out later.
Yeah, or we just kill her right here and now and just like wash our hands of it.
I don't think that that'll be possible, Jiri, to be able to kill her right then and there. I mean, we could go with her and learn more as we explore the place where she will hold us.
Another good point, she says while reading the book.
Man, I can tell you guys haven't been to prison before because
It's true.
very eager to get there.
Jiri, you need to understand something. With every great act of evil comes an equal and opposite act of good. So her acts of evil will be met with those actions that are good.
Yeah, and you know what would be really great? To kill her right now.
That would be wonderful.
That would cancel out a lot of evil.
That would be great, Jiri. And then
Actually,
with
with
the death of this,
comes life, Jiri, so that does make sense.
with the
Yes.
death of this woman, would come thousands of deaths of our troops. We'd kill some of their army. It would be a battle, but
Maybe even without the death of this woman. Keeps reading.
it would
What
be
if
a
I challenge-
decisive victory for them if we try and strike her down here.
Mano a mano combat. That's what I think. I will challenge her to a duel. If I win, our army goes free. If she wins, I die, and that's about it. She can have my corpse.
I'm gonna turn to Moira and ask her a question. Moira, could you tell us a little bit of your life story? Like, how did you come to this point in your life where you're doing so much evil? Were you ever once good?
Yeah, another way, like, why aren't you cool? Why are you so lame?
Puts a finger up. I'm reading.
We did ask her for privacy, although she's not granting that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like, come on.
When she's done with the book, that's a good question, Realm. Come back to that.
I don't think that we're gonna be able to not. I don't
And
know.
Jiri, I want this stated very clearly. We are not going to leave you. I know I will not. I don't know what decision we're all going to make, but I'll be by your side.
I know this is hard for you, Jiri. But your friends have connected with you more profoundly than I would have anticipated. With them with us, we are formidable. I need you to go with her.
I will turn to Moira at one point and say, a bit of a rider amendment to whatever you got going on there. he has it, and nodding to Jerry. He's got a chaperone, 24/7, one of us. You don't separate him from us at any time.
I think that we need to get all
That
these
would be
agreements
fine.
written in
She says
written down.
She says that will be fine, and you see just a small glow on her arm, and you assume it has been amended.
Hmm.
Rome, we'll get it in writing once I remove that arm from her body. And I wink at Moira again.
She winks back. Well,
Let me try you on something, Moira.
you are testing my patience.
Good, I hope to test something here, since you seek our freedom. 3 weeks.
For a time.
3 weeks with us with you. Our army walks free now, with another deal with you from my father, that they will aggress you not at all for the next 3 weeks while we are away.
They won't be able to aggress us because they're already not being released for a month's time. You're misremembering the contract your friend has already generously established.
I'm trying to amend that contract that has not yet been shaken on,
Ugh,
nor
we can't
cemented.
simply go back down to ground zero now, can we?
We could rewrite it.
Ugh. I think the prior terms are more agreeable.
There's always we just don't shake then. We just try to kill you. You obliterate us right now and pick through our corpses.
Yes, that is very much in play here.
I vote for that option.
She just studies each of your faces.
But as that is not your favorite outcome,
Would you like a demonstration?
No.
You see her trace a sigil in the air. And just hold her arm extended toward Jiri. Jiri, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Eeks.
I mean, I think what did you have to make on your scrying? Like a 20, so she's got a crazy DC.
Jiri, you feel a strange sensation for a moment, and it passes immediately. For those of you that are familiar with various forms of magic, that was a spell that your kind has deemed the word polymorph. Didn't work on him, and I just got valuable intel. This is an example of some of the experimentation I wish to do. Harmless. I want to learn here. That is all.
Yeah, that was an
If you
aggressive
give me-
attack.
If you give me time to learn, you will save your people, your forces, and then hopefully I'll have enough information where I don't need to assault you all anymore. Or our forces can ignore you entirely.
I don't like how she can cast spells, but we can't. Doesn't seem fair.
Trust me, I'm about to. But we need her.
Dad, I don't like this whole idea about you being removed from my body until we get back to Jaland. Can you promise me that? You'll wait until we find your actual body?
I don't know how we can even separate ourselves in the first place. Sure, unless there becomes along an opportunity before then where we find out how to gain each of our own individual freedoms. I don't want to be bound to you any more than you want to be bound to me.
All right, well, then I need a little bit of trust here that I kind of know what's going on, okay? So I need you to kind of see from my perspective how, like, your memories have been wiped. and we need to get your soul back to Jawland. And if this is the way to do it, I could think about it and maybe agree to go with this lady. But like that's got to be the goal.
Let me ask her directly.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but go for it.
As you say go for it, your breath grows shallow for a moment and you feel cold as steam and shadow is released from your form. Moira takes a tighter grip of her staff in curiosity, and you cast, without your choosing, at the hex metal's choosing, you cast the spell Shadow of Moil. And around Jiri coalesces a Vantablack shadow of writhing flame that slightly enlarges his form and completely obscures Jiri within. And you see, I believe many of you, or all of you at this point, see the familiar seven-horned figure of this creature. You will be able to separate us. I believe I will. Hi, Paravel. Good to see you again. Then we will come. Very well. Are you all ready? I do re-emphasize, my word is my bond. I can't break a contract no more than you can. Your troops will be spared.
Can we restate what the contract is at this point? Because we've been amending it, and I just want to know what it is we're agreeing to.
Functionally, you all come with her now. Agree to voluntarily help her efforts where possible for the next week of time. At least one person is always required to be within, let's say, 30 feet of Jiri. And the forces will be taken per the agreement with Mathros, will be taken but not slain. It is suggested that an audience with the king may be pursued in the near future to let him determine your eventual fate, whether to let you go if suitable experimentation has been done, or, at his decree, sentence you to death. And it was mentioned that you would get the chance to fight for your freedom per the wild customs of Durastian rule and his interest in sport and entertainment. She does not promise harmlessness. She promised mitigated harm. And then, in a month's time, all the troops that have been taken would be released.
Into their supervision.
Yes. Yeah, not free to rejoin with the army, but released from captivity and imprisonment.
What of our agency during that time period?
No prisons.
I will have to put you somewhere. Can't just let you roam around. But I will say, I do have a history of allowing those who help out more than others, they gain more autonomy, as Jax Jiri can speak to in his example. I am also realizing that these are the stories and tales that Aldark used to tell you in his cell. Curious. I have much to learn from you.
I'm still looking for an answer. Putting us where? Separating us from each other? Separating us? What would you take of us? What would you put on us? What kind of spells would you cast to monitor us? There's a lot you're leaving out here.
Yes, I mean, I could go through the finer points if you need, but I imagine we're going to be here for days if I do that. I can't let you threaten my experimentations, my projects. Don't want you breaking into rooms when I'm working just to attack me, etc., etc. I will need to keep you all separated from each other. I can consider storing all of your gear and items safely, but I don't promise you can keep them on you. But with goodwill, aid, and assistance, you will earn more autonomy. That I can promise. That has always been the case of my subjects, my collaborators.
Belgarian just kind of stands back.
Do we have a deal? Reaches
Yes,
out
sucks.
to Roulette.
Yes.
I need a vote from the group. I'm voting aye.
What?
You hear from the shadows surrounding Jiri.
Toby?
I will not abandon our friend.
Sorry?
I will not abandon our friend. And so if he has voted to go, by his own will or not, I will follow. Bye.
Bro?
I mean, I still want to know. I want an answer to my question from earlier. Like, how did you come to this point? Like, who? You have not really told us who you are. Like, have you always been this way? Were you born evil, or did you become this way?
Yeah, I feel like we need some more deets.
I don't even
Some
know
more
who
details.
I don't even know where. Like, I don't know who
I
I'm
agree.
going with.
Exactly. We need more info.
I will not avail to you every day I've lived and walked this plane or other planes. That would just muddle a conversation into nothingness, and no one will get what they want.
Moira, quick question. Are you, as far as taking us somewhere, this to new capital of New Durast back in Ostanis, or are you taking us further north?
It will be westward rather than north. I have temporary accommodations to the west, and I'm not ready to... If I find what I need, I may bring one or many of you north with me, but I'm not ready for that yet.
This deal is so ambiguous. Like, I don't know. We could just end up anywhere.
I vote no. I should
Eh.
not willingly make myself your subject or collaborator
All right,
with
Talperion.
these vague threats.
High five, buddy.
High five the shadow of Moyle.
You miss for a minute because it's obscuring Jiri's hand, but then you connect.
I guess we never really decided if this was a unanimous required committee between the 5 or 6 or 8 of us, however many this is, but we've got 3 ayes, 1.5 no's, a request for backstory.
Rome hasn't voted. Jiri hasn't voted. I don't know if Jiri and Hex are sharing a vote.
Can we go through the votes again? Who's voting for what? Can we repeat that?
I am a yes vote. Adras is a yes vote. Toby is a yes if Adras/Jiri is a yes. That's 3 yeses. Telperion is no.
Jiri's a no.
So Jiri and Telperion have voted no.
So just you.
So
Toby, does that change your vote if Jiri's voting no?
I don't enjoy voting in this.
we have 1 minute, so let's switch right now.
Okay.
So,
All right, Mora, I got a question for you. What's gonna happen to me if you separate my dad's spirit from my body.
What I want from you, specifically, is to experiment with your blood. It is extremely rare, and I will stay true to my word that I will mitigate harm to you. I'm not trying to butcher you up, turn you into a pile of bones and flesh. I want to carefully examine the properties of blood that you hold. And if I separate Hyperivel from you,
Hyperivel,
I won't need you anymore. That doesn't mean I'm going to kill you. It just means I'll open the doors and you're free to run off to wherever you need to go next. I don't need to care about you once I've learned what I need to learn.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, no. This is such a bad idea. See, I need my dad to go with me. You don't get to take his soul. I need to take it back to Jawland.
Well, it certainly seems like he's eager to come with me. And
I know, because you brainwashed him.
If you're using his power and you two disagree, I wonder if you'll be able to use that power.
Sure, I'm a very magical individual myself.
That's not untrue, but I suspect it's far less true than you're suggesting.
Can I send Toby a message? Or a thought?
Sure.
What we provide her could be far worse than the lives lost during this. And I don't know if she's detecting thoughts anymore, but I'd take the risk that maybe she's not at this point. Then I just want to put that in Toby's head. And Telperian's looking far more stoic than Mike Jacoby is. Mike Jacoby's in agony.
That is not lost on me. I just still... We need to be very aware of the stakes. And so if we deny her, we just have to understand what that entails. Mentally to Telperion.
I don't like the idea of her getting my sweet, juicy royal blood. Imagine all the evil she could do with it.
What if I allow you specifically? This will be the final amendment I offer. What if I allow you specifically to keep the first creation it's used for? I'll give you a test sample of what we have to come, and it will be a boon to you.
Ooh, why don't we give you an evil weapon to use to do evil things?
There are no evil weapons, just evil people using weapons irresponsibly or based on their moral code, which could differ from others. You already wield a weapon that you got from me, and you wield it quite casually. Do you have a problem with that? What would be the problem of a new age of weapons?
Listen, lady, everything you're saying does not make sense for my worldview. I don't understand you at all. Like you are not getting who I am and what I'm all about. I thought you had read this book and saw that I am Jajiri, Jarl of Jawland, and I must do mighty good deeds in my life because I am a hero. I just don't think you're getting that. I don't do evil things like you.
You are operating as a fictional story fairy tale character. I don't know why this is the persona you've chosen, but I can clear things up for you if you would like to retain any broken memories or whatever neural psychoses has led you to this, I can mend that for you.
Pretty sure I know who I am. I don't know what led you to be who you are either, but I can fix that as well. Why don't you come with us? We can turn you good. You could be an agent of the good side. Why don't you come with us? You can be a good person. I'll fix that brain of yours. What do you say? That's a good deal.
What you got?
I don't know if I need to do a check or something for this, but when she mentioned her residence to the west, where would I be thinking she means? In Creatia to the west? If she means not, she didn't say Ostennis, she said north not at all. So like thinking of the map, which we've studied, we know that.
Yeah, go ahead and make a quick history check.
I feel like that was a good point.
8 plus 7 is 15.
You can think of it, with at least within Creatia, there are 3 territories roughly to the west. There's Mersenia, there is Ostennis, which even though is a little northwest, is mostly west. And there's also another settlement that you guys have been to, Lux Monastery, that's also in that vicinity. But those are the only settlements, major locations.
I still think Moira should join us. You'd be a good ally to have. You could help us save Jarland.
Maybe if I'm able to amend your mind a bit, I can help you save this Jarland. I don't know what it is, but sure.
Do we have this? Can I make an insight check?
On
Jeez.
what are you trying to suss out intent?
Her.
Or
How many lies do I feel like she's told? Like, because she says a lot, and she's like playing along with Jerry now in a way that's like, oh, she's willing to say things. I'm just kind of curious of, and I understand the pact thing a little bit. So I'm just trying to understand: is she someone who is like saying whatever to get what she wants? Is there like any edge to her at all, or is she just like utter composure in this whole situation?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Oh my god, I keep rolling 8s. Oh, that's an 8.
Okay. Pretty much utter composure, other than her words suggesting that, hey, this is the last amendment I'll make. You guys are testing my patience. Like, you're not getting that from a facial cue perspective. If you trust her words, she is starting to lose patience, but you're not like seeing the eye twitch and increased blood flow, wider eyes. Like, she's not looking like she's getting come the fuck on, but her words are suggesting that, but she's pretty composed.
And outside, what we are under the impression of is the armies have been moving in, and our army has started the process of surrender.
Yes.
Okay. Rome, I think you're one of the last ones to vote.
Spirit, it does strike my curiosity that you, who I suspect are the least connected to the nonsense of this world's wars, I'm wondering if you feel you need to jump to your friend Telperion and Jiri's defiance, or if you're more interested in understanding the scope of the larger picture, and if you come with me, learning of what I've been up to with your vase.
Why is it that I get the sense that you're trying to help me in particular? Like, what do you want from me?
It's less about helping you and more of respecting another entity that has lived eons.
And you're saying that you've lived eons?
Perhaps. If that is what you have deduced from my words, then you're welcome to make those conclusions.
Do I get the sense that I've maybe met her before? Like, if I've lived eons, like if I ever crossed, like, do I have any memory of Moira in a past life?
Make a history check.
Oh.
Not sure. She's not striking any imagery, other sensory information that sort of cues you in on memory.
I mean, I certainly would like my vase back. And I would like to learn more about you. But I also would like to know that I'll be able to be released and be able to live my life not within a cage.
Of course. As long as I can contain your chaotic instincts for a week or so, I do promise your release into the king's judgment, but that might provide another means of freedom.
Many mites.
Some are not within my authority to grant. What is I will release you. Do we have a quorum then?
I will go with you, but I will not promise that I will be contained.
Very well. Thrash against the walls all you wish. Hopefully I can maintain some semblance of order for my projects, but I don't judge creatures wanting to maintain freedom at all costs. I would want to do the same. This is a temporary blip, and it will avail me of knowledge that I need to overthrow some far darker entities than you could imagine.
So you're trying to say that you are good? These actions are those of good?
Good and evil mean literally nothing. They mean literally nothing. There's cruelty, which often is connotated and associated with evil, and I understand that, but let me paint you a picture. Have you ever heard of the Blood War? The infinite, eternal battle between demons and devils. The peoples of this plane believe both of those entities to be evil. They each, respectively, believe themselves to be good, and the other evil. None of that has any objective truth. It all matters what side you're on. But my ambitions would be aligned against some that the denizens of this world would agree with my intentions for. But now we're starting to step outside the scope of the agreement in this war. Are you coming?
We have voted. And there are four and 2 against. And no one wishes to change their vote.
No.
No. Darling, looking at Roulette.
Correct.
When we shake, you may find it advantageous to have all of yourselves holding on to each other, clasping hands, grasping shoulders, whatever you wish.
That include the folks outside too, or you
Yes, if your construct and the princeling's creature want to come into, they're welcome.
Great. Can I do a check?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing Telperion is thinking about right now is his mother and what she would be doing and what she would want for him to be doing. Like, I'm thinking really broad scale. Like, do I let a ton of these elves die and I fight this bitch right now because resisting is what my mom would want? Or is she like, be patient, learn what you can, and like, I'm very torn. And so I just want to think about her insight now, especially as a leader. So I want to do some kind of thing.
I will.
Check.
Yeah, go ahead and make a history check with advantage
Which is super cool.
because you know your mother well
Perspective.
and you know your culture well.
Roulette will whistle out for Daisy to come on in, and she will hop up in object mode onto my hip.
23 is a history check.
As you call Daisy in, Daisy opens the flap and just bangs into nothing, and where it says, "Sorry," waves her hand, and then Daisy is able to get in.
That's an
And same with- and
anti-life
then same
shield
with
if I've
Loaf.
ever seen one.
Daisy's head spins like the pit droid.
What was the spell? Did someone say it?
Anti-life shield shell.
Michael said something.
Okay. So it's a 23 history check.
You recall a conversation with your mother from long ago. She had been Queen Aranil at this point. Maybe you were around 50, maybe 120 years ago or so. And it was toward the beginning of your frustrations with, why aren't we going out to find our people? We need to connect with the Alealor. And you recall you didn't understand why they left. You didn't understand why your people weren't willing to go. And your mother described the sort of cultural significance of the decision making. The Alealor had very firmly believed in going out, and the Ithawinge firmly believed of protecting their own, staying sheltered. And she mentioned that at first in those days, the Alealor were still under threat of volunteering their people would come with casualties. And they were not willing to make that call. But at the championing of Cecilia in those days, one of the Alealor's prime members, who now you've learned quite a bit about, suggested that to bend to the conflicts of the war wouldn't be very far-sighted. They needed to venture into the world to understand what was worth fighting for, and then famously never came back, seemingly finding a justification, a rationalization for fighting. And you think your mother's take on that was protecting our people at all costs is very important, and that is sort of the duty she is restrained into, but a greater duty might be learning from others, venturing out into the world to engage, meeting of different minds. For the larger scope, with perspective comes wisdom. And the Ithawinge have famously lost wisdom for their reluctance to expand their perspective.
Before the shake, one more thing. We each may pick one thing not turned over for study, not separated from our person, not taken. You may know what it is.
That might be interesting.
We'll show it to
Yes,
you.
I would like you to each declare what you have in mind, but I think those are suitable accommodations.
And my no will become a yes.
Very well. May I ask, here and now, what do you wish to keep with you so dearly?
Is she asking me specifically?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, hang on. I've been thinking really hard. Hang on.
I'm gonna pick the bag of holding.
Holy shit.
Roulette,
a bunch of
Roulette will
stuff
probably
in the-
make that joke.
I've grown very fond of this. I'm gonna touch Yokoda's Yakuta. Yukata.
A worthwhile prize from an esteemed gentleman among his own peers. A little limited from my perspective, but very well. You can keep that. What about the rest of you? What do you wish to keep?
Doesn't matter because I'm not saying yes.
Very well. The rest of you?
Wait, is she literally gonna take every single thing off of us and we're only gonna have one item?
Yep.
How do we know that we're gonna get all of our items back? Are you?
She didn't specifically say that.
Yeah, she did. She said we weren't gonna be she was gonna separate us from our stuff, and she's gonna hold it somewhere else.
But like 100%, she's like definitely gonna give us back all of our stuff at the end of this.
Wow, she's definitely gonna tell the truth. Yes.
It's in the contract.
That was sarcasm. She's not going to.
I will pull from my shirt the medallion.
I would have been offended if you didn't suggest that. Understood?
Or like she's not gonna take the medallion. Oh my gosh.
Roulette will probably just take out her notebook and just tap it. So you're not getting any more forcefully, at least.
Very well. Spirit, what about you?
I would like to keep my nature's mantle, my cloak.
Jerry, get in the contract. You're saying no, but you still.
I am learning much about you all already.
I'm not shaking her hand. That's it. I'm not touching you guys when you shake it. I'm out of this.
Moira, give me a moment with him.
I've just been stalling.
And
I'm
then
resting right now.
I'm gonna take Jerry.
5 minutes.
I'm gonna take Jerry as far as I can. For the corner of the tent. And I know she can listen, but I want to say it just to Jerry. Jerry, we all are saying yes for you. Just
This doesn't help me though. It's a trap.
we're in a trap, yes. But you're part of a group, and each of us is giving up as much as we can to stay and go be with you. Half your mind has already agreed. It's just the stubborn half, the best part, that has to decide that you're a part of this group.
You're right, Telperion. We're a team. I guess I gotta be a team player. If that means spending 7 years in jail again, I guess I'll have to. I'll escape at some point. No jail can hold Jajiri all Jawland. Okay, I'll agree, but I want to keep 3 things.
Before we go back, I want to put the 3. Let's talk it over.
I get to keep
My dad.
my dad. Of course.
I get to keep that.
He gets to stay with me. I get to keep the sheath. And I get to keep my tabby. Wait a minute. Does clothing count? I don't think they're going to strip us. So then I'm going to keep my flask.
Maybe just for one thing, which was already a lot for her to say yes to.
What do you mean?
She's permitting us one thing. You got to narrow it down.
Well, she's going to have to give me 3 things.
You can go tell her that, and she'll say back to 1.
Well,
The scabbard. She's already seen the scabbard.
Right.
She's already seen the scabbard. What can she learn from that? The bottle. What can she learn from that? I picked this Yakuta because it means freedom for me. My items aren't that worth protecting, unlike the amulet was in Roulette's notebook. So think personally. What do you wish to keep from others?
Those 3 things.
All right, go tell her then. Which he's yours to talk to. Don't look like
mean-
good.
I'm assuming she heard that, so that's my final deal. If you say no, we're throwing down right here and now.
And if I say yes, you'll comply immediately.
I will be a team player. If I'm forced to, I will shake your hand. I don't know if that actually counts as a binding contract, but to some it might.
We have a deal. And she walks up to you, Jiri, instead of Roulette, the original contract facilitator. Hold on to each other. And then
Summon
extends her
loaf back.
hand, and then extends her hand to you, Jiri.
Yeah.
I can't do this, guys.
Jiri, I'll shake her hand. And I'll walk over and I'll put everyone's like hands on me. See how this goes. And as I reach forward, we'll give the ring a spin. And I will wink at her. It's worth a try. And I'm gonna cast Cortex Warp.
Vortex Warp, okay. Which we have said is roughly equivalent to what spell? Is it like a charm monster? Is it like a suggestion?
I don't remember.
Vortex Warp, I believe, is a second level spell, so I'm thinking more along the lines of suggestion.
I will upcast that to third as my highest level spell slot.
Okay.
So I will make it a third level spell slot. I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't remember if it's like a low modified memory or a suggestion or a command or
Okay.
I don't remember if we did whiz or intelligence for the save on it.
It's going to be intelligence. Well, I'll let you choose. When you cast it, are you attempting to scramble her brains or alter her emotional mindset right now?
I want to make her brain think something other than what it's thinking right now. And I have not determined that yet, and I
Okay.
will determine that once the roll happens.
Okay.
You
I think your intent is going to make it either whiz or int. So she won't
I
know
want
your
her-
intent right away, but yeah, what is your intent?
A week has passed. Testing has failed. Hex has proved to be more stubborn than she could ever imagine. He's not worth the trouble. Contract is up. They'll find a different way through the vase to figure out what they need.
Okay.
Does she let me cast the spell?
As you spin it and cast a spell, she looks at you.
Fuck. Oh, boy, howdy.
I do respect the attempt.
want.
That was a bad choice. And she grabs your hand. And as she casts teleport in this moment, all of you are siphoned through space, and colorations and smells waft past you. You see colorations of red adorn the sky. You get very potent sense of fire and brimstone and sulfur and just foul volcanic smells. And then all of a sudden, you are here. You arrive in a... You almost immediately know it's subterranean, just on the way it's dank and dark and stone worked. It's like the structure has been made specifically to be reinforced underground. And you arrive on some sort of rug with arcane sigils placed on it. As you guys land and touch down, it's a disorienting experience. But then she says to you, Roulette, who were next to her, she says, I did promise mitigated harm, and I will abide by that. But I can't have you all just chaotically assaulting me. She taps her staff, and from inside one of her vestments out floats an hourglass vial. And it shatters, and the vapor swirls over toward you. And I need you to please make a Constitution saving throw.
Just me?
Just you.
I will use my reaction to give myself advantage on this
Okay.
through my bio enigma thing.
It was a 19 at first.
Oh boy, howdy!
No,
I can't.
Damn it.
You feel the vapor force its way into your ears, the crevices of your eyes, your nose, and then even through cracks in your lips. And you begin to be filled with discomfort, and you feel cracks in your skin, and you feel a horrible sensation take your stomach. And please roll a d6 for me. You become poisoned. You take on the condition poison, and your internal temperature starts to skyrocket. Your bodily fluids feel like they're boiling for a moment, and they hiss, and you just like cough out, and a small bit of smoke comes out. You gain a level of exhaustion and take 11 fire damage, reduced by half because of your fire wicking breastplate currently. But
So
just
5
5
damage.
points of fire damage. You take a point of exhaustion, you are poisoned, and just feel like things are changing in your organs almost. Like you just feel like whatever magic that was, which you've seen cause those hourglass vials that you've seen in the past, have caused mutations and changes in people's physiologies. And you just fought past one. And she just says, "Be sure I don't need to use more of those on you."
Was it like a gas or a vapor?
Yeah,
It
it
was-
was a very, very sparse red, maroonish colored vapor that cracked out of one of those vials.
Jiri is going to take out his wind fan and cast Warding Winged on himself.
As you take out the fan and begin to cast a spell, she just waves it away.
All right, I draw my sword and put it in between her and I.
Insolence will not be tolerated. We do have a pact. If you step outside it, I will take action just as you would try to.
You just stepped out
If
of.
I-
You just stepped out of that pack. You just attacked Roulette.
Incorrect. She aggressed me, and so I retributed. And it was still mitigated damage. Now, all of you, please follow me. And kind of looking over her shoulder and paying attention to you all, she walks to this door.
Follow.
She mutters something in Infernal.
I'll go last.
And I hear
And
what
it-
she says.
Yes, it is a spell sequence, so it's not like a sentence
Sure.
of language or prose, but it is conjuration magic
Okay.
she incorporates here. And a small aura passes around her, and she says, "Please, remove yourselves of any items you're handing over. Disrobe. We will have vestments made available to you. You are permitted to keep the one item I allowed for you."
We're telling us to take our clothes off.
Yeah, whoa, this was not part of the deal.
I don't think that will affect you much, Spirit. You seem mostly made of brambles and shrubbery. But the rest of you, yes. You may keep
This is true,
undergarments if
Lieutenant
you wish
Duncan.
to. You may wish to keep undergarments, that is fine. But any armors, vestments of worth, will need to be handed to me. Roulette, looks like you're first up. Do you comply?
I do, and I'll just start because I'm assuming you'll take this off me anyway. I will just start loading all of my stuff into the bag of holding.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome to do that.
Most of the smaller stuff, the breastplate, like I'll hand that over.
Okay. At the end of it all, are you intending to keep the bag of holding, or are you intending to keep like your notebook that you had suggested?
No, actually, I'm gonna try and keep bag of holding. I'm just gonna hand her everything else off me. See what she says.
Very well. Please do dump it out.
Oh fuck.
Oh, I'm not gonna dump this. I'm just gonna hand it to her.
Okay. Keeping your journal or
Roulette's notebook, yes, and I
Yes.
will keep Daisy on my hip as well.
okay. I am going to need your construct to be handed over as well, unless that is the one item you'd like to keep. He's got a safe space right over there for her, him, it.
She, and I'll take suitcase Daisy and I'll hand her over.
As each of these things are handed to her, they just evaporate into nothingness at Moira's fingertips. And you see various places on walls in this space. You can see there's small carvings on certain sections of the walls, and runes just glow once you have completed the transaction. Very well. Next.
I'll go next. I take off my armor. I try to keep on my like blue under tunic. That's just my clothes, and it's under the Yakuta. I take off my armor, and I take off the sword. These two in particular, not that powerful, but very important to me. Of my people, of which you probably don't care.
Correct.
I'll try. I'll give her everything. I'll just try to keep my two rings on, my featherfall ring and my ring of protection, and just I'm not gonna hand them over unless she asks. Like I don't know if she's paying that close attention.
You do see as you continue to hand things over, they evaporate into her grasp. And then as you pause, suggesting that you're done, she does say, "You're not finished."
I take out the ring of protection and give it to her. Take out the featherfall ring, give it to her. I was like, "Can you detect magic?" This one means nothing. And I show her the Four Winds one. And I just want to try to keep this one. Means nothing to
Sure.
you.
You can keep that. It should be a suitable reminder for what may happen to your allies that wear the same, should anything go wrong here.
Moira, you hold all the cards.
Most of them. I hope to hold them all soon. Thank you. Next.
I keep the medallion. And I
Okay.
hand over everything. I put all the arrows in the tether gun quiver. We're running out.
I will come for that medallion eventually, but not under the terms of this agreement for now. It is safe with you for the time being. Thank you. Next.
I give her all of my stuff, but I like plant growth it into a ball so that it's all kept together.
Okay.
Like a ball of
Perfect.
like branches and stuff like that grow together to hold it.
Keeping your nature's mantle.
Keeping my cloak, yeah.
1 minute.
Perfect. Let's jump and then handle Jiri.
Great. With my never mind. Jiri, you're up.
No. My tabby is part of my undergarments. Can't say otherwise. You've never been to Jawland.
She said you could keep those three things, right? Your tabby, your scabbard.
I get three things. The tabby is part of my undergarments, which she said I could get for free. Anyways, doesn't count as one of the three things. I am keeping my scabbard. I am keeping my carpet here. Mundane. Has no magical properties to it at all. Just a normal carpet. And that's two. I'm also keeping my water bottle.
I think that can be arranged. Very well. You stay behind for just a moment, and I will come back to collect you, Jiri. We have other words to exchange. She will press a hand on this door, and it will open up. And I kind of forget if I did this in this way. Yeah, I did.
She implying she wants to be in this room alone with Jiri, or she wants us to go and Jiri to stay?
Jiri to linger, for they have words to exchange, but she'll honor the agreement of the pact to let one of you stay near him.
I'll stay with him then.
Okay. You, Tinkerer, you can come with me. And she will lead you past the little sigil down the hallway. This will be yours. And she places a hand on this door, which opens and allows you to step through. She then waves her hand and the door shuts behind you.
Stone door, solid door, jail cell door.
Stone door seems to slide.
Any sort of slit.
Yes, within the cavity of the wall.
No, I meant like, sorry, can I see out into the hallway at all or no?
Oh, no, not into the hallway, but you can give me a quick investigation check just to surveil the surrounding area. Very rudimentary cell. She may have magical means of ensuring its security level, but it is fairly minimal. There are no windows, no slits that you can see other than the door frame. Looks like kind of a bunker room, or maybe some sort of like, it does not look like it was originally used as a cell.
Thank you.
And she will come back and slowly over the course of the next minute or so, escort Toby that direction as well. To a different cell. And allow you through. Shutting the door behind you. And then the same to Rome.
Are there any like cracks or anything, like any imperfection in any of the walls in this cell that I'm in?
We will put you right there, and go ahead and give me a. To determine cracks is really like, there's perception available in this area, but to like study flaws or weaknesses in this construction, I'm gonna want some basis of an intelligence check. So I'm thinking maybe nature or investigation.
Nature.
Okay. 18. There are definitely cracks. This is an old building that the stonework and little tiny bits of earth padded underneath the stone tiles underneath your feet just suggest it's really well built, but it's seen settlement from the surrounding soil that this place was built into. That this place might be hundreds of years old. You're not quite sure. But there are definitely cracks, imperfections.
When like Moira's out of this like whole like hallway space, I have something that I'd like to do, but not until
Okay. She leaves the door and closes it behind you, but otherwise makes her way back toward where Telperion and Jiri are. Are you trying to do something in your cell right this moment, or wait a little bit?
I guess I'll wait a little bit just so that it's not like already trying to do something sketchy.
Okay.
In like about an hour, I'd like to start what I want to do.
Okay. Sounds good. She shuts the door behind her as she gets back into this main sort of arcane laboratory. Telperion and Jiri, what are you doing in this moment? Are you sort of quiet, looking around? Are you talking to each other in hushed whispers? What are you currently working on doing?
Oh, I'm studying this room like my life depends on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would also like to do the same because I'm curious if Jiri recognizes this place at all.
Okay. Jiri, go ahead and make a, I think, general perception check. Telperion, you can make an investigation check for studying the intricacies.
11.
Also an 11.
Telpier, you start to take in the bits and baubles of things strewn across desks and lab experiments and arcane glyph work and tomes flipped through, but you're afforded very little time to do a thorough search before she returns. So you get limited information. What you do see immediately are that there are 2 cages in the room. One is full of 6 imps that you guys have seen imps before, and you see in this cage is this disgusting, foul-smelling, muck-like creature with like oozing skin that seems to slough off and then regenerate and slough off, and it just disintegrates as it hits the ground, but it's in this constant state of like melting, and it just looks like thick, grimy pus and horrible appearance and smell, and it's just like reaching through the cage and just like mindlessly trying to reach out.
When she gets back, I want to ask, doesn't that thing sicken you a little?
Before she gets to her answer, Jiri, with a perception check, you get an odd sensation from this space, but you do not recall anything from your memory. And I would say even with 11, you pretty quickly determine this is not her true laboratory that you've been in. Even in your broken, fractured memories of the past, this is not the same place and the same prisons you once broke out of.
I like
Even
knock
if those
something
memories are
over,
damaged.
or like spill something, just something like small, and just like tip it over, just out of pure spite.
Sure, yeah. A little vial or beaker slams into the ground and cracks.
But I do that before she comes back.
Okay. She gets back and sees it on the ground and says,
And I'm like
"Okay."
over on the other side of the room.
Spiteful things, aren't we? Yes, it does. I detest looking at it. Such are the punishments of those who step out of line and don't fulfill their contracts. You might have known that one by the name Delta. He is the one that ran this place before I made use of it. And you very quickly determine that you guys are currently in the basement or somehow below Lux Monastery. He was not cooperative. I had to remove his skull. I have it here on my hip now. Makes transport to and from here rather simple for me.
Amazing.
But I've afforded him the opportunity to keep some semblance of a physical form. It's just one given to the very lowest ranked members of the Hells.
What was the deal he made with you that he failed to deliver?
He failed to quell and not participate in insurrection against me. It's not that he just stepped out of line. He tried to void his entire contract and led his monastery of monks against me. They were interesting. They were perhaps difficult to put down, but
Right.
put down we did.
Rome wasn't in the party, the group at the time, and I'm the main one who would care about Delta. So could you do a reminder for everyone on who Delta was?
Yeah, absolutely. So Delta Centauri was his sort of sign name. Many of the people at this monastery took star and constellation sign names. Lux Monastery is a monastic haven, or was, south of Ostenis, that was very meditative, wisdom-based, a lot of soul-searching and some philanthropy. They were monks who would tend to nearby settlements, aid them in various ways, but mostly study various deities or paths. Their kind of mantra was welcome all colors of light. there were some that worshipped the primary deity of this world, Modera. There were some that worshipped Corellin Larethian of the Elvish pantheon, or Sehanin, or the Silver Flame, or other various entities that all bring light to people. There's a sort of melting pot of ideas and paths, all based around the central symbology of what light can mean. And it's based on her words now to Telperion, it's sounding like she has captured or killed many or most of them. And this Lemure that she designates the title of was the head of their order.
There's no getting out of that form once you're in it, is there?
No, there's not. He's welcome to gain promotion in favor with me or other various authorities that could afford him the promotion, and maybe he can change his form in the future, but not back to what he was, outside of magical illusory means, perhaps. Keep in mind what we are able to do to those who don't abide our contracts. Very well. Princeling, stand over there to the side for a moment. I will make good on my promise to allow one of you to stay close to your friend, but I need to take a look at him for a moment. And she will approach you, Jiri. Do you remember me?
Not really. I guess you were the one that imprisoned me when I was exiled from Jarland.
Yes. I suppose your brain is exhibiting strange signs of psychoses that I did not know it would. And I suspect it is due to the binding. What was it like when you broke out? When you removed the arcane crystal housing Experiment 3H? And you touched it? What was it like?
I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. I think you're psychotic too.
How are we going to move forward in meaningful progress? All right, let's try this one more time. And she begins to cast a spell and waves her staff toward Jiri. And Jiri, once more, you feel a very strange sensation take your body, but it's immediately repelled. Almost like your body is fixing itself rapidly as it's being asked to change. So your true nature remains the same. You are still immune to that magic. You, Princeling, you engage in telepathic interests, yes? Have you been in his mind before?
Many a time.
Curious. I think I might like to go for a walk. Care to come with me?
Yes.
Come then. And she reaches her hand out to you.
I follow her, but I don't take her hand.
She, as you go up near her, she just rests her hand on your upper arm and then casts Detect Thoughts on Jiri. And you feel your sensory visuals pulled into her own. And Jiri, please make a wisdom save.
15.
You feel the sensation. You've allowed Telperion many times to enter your mind, and you feel that sensation happen as she is probing further into your mind. Telperion, did you have a comment? Okay. I thought someone said something or caught a blurb. Telperion, at the same time Moira is able to, you are pulled into Jiri's mind once more. She and you see the chaotic storm, the sensory storm of flashing neurons and lightning bolts. And inside, you see Jax standing at the bottom, a whirlpool of thick black sludge slowly spiraling around him up to his knees. And he just looks up and around. Someone there. And Moira just begins to guide you both through the environment. Fascinating. It's absolute chaos in here. Have you looked into your other friends' minds before, Princeling?
Not much.
Usually, memories are either well organized or completely detached from their current mind state. This is like viewing a diamond through several other crystalline lenses all at once. This is fractured beyond comprehension. No wonder perhaps he's deceiving me, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't remember me. But him down there, that's who I knew. That's the prisoner I once tended toward. Or at least his preferred form. I rescued him, you know. Well, in a sense. He was captured. There was a whole situation with the Thieves Guild in Daenor, and they were going to execute many of the people they found, but I had this one brought to me. I wonder. Hyperival, are you there? And then blast of thunder and lightning flash in the environment. So you are one. Hyperival's the name of the being that I bound to the Dread Iron 3 series.
So are you devilish and this guy's demonic? Blood roar and all?
No. That is a reference I used at the time, but barely involved in my ambitions here. I, of course, am under sway by the king. I never step out of line of the king's requirements. Sometimes I see to other ambitions, though. But this was at his command. And then you are pulled out of Jiri's mind, as the detect thoughts was only facilitated for a minute. Jiri, were you able to sense us inside there?
I don't know. Was he?
Your call. I don't think that needs a check. I think that's based on what Jiri has experienced before. Generally, I think you can tell when Telperion has entered your mind. When you're sleeping, do the dream spell. It's a little more active, so you are always definitely very aware then. Do you
I think,
you'd be able to-
a part of Jiri goes down with you guys then. So, like, a form of Jiri, a version of him appears and observes at the same time as Telperion and Moira were down there.
Perfect.
So the answer would be yes then. Yes, I did.
I need you to search your memory, Jiri. I understand that you might not agree with me that I extended, from your perspective, it might not have seemed like I granted goodwill in the contract we've established thus far, but I have. If I can extend another minute nugget of goodwill to acquire your cooperation, I will consider it. I need you to describe to me what it was like when you bound with the substance you found, Experiment 3H.
That's a memory that belongs to Jax. I don't know if that was me. That was him. Somehow his memories are in my mind as well, but I can access them. Let me look. And Jiri will try to put himself in the mindset of Jax and recall what that was like.
Okay. Go ahead and make a charisma saving throw, Jiri. It's very good.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want to jump in and take away any agency from you, but I'm interested in saying that you, by putting yourself in Jax's mind state, trying to access his memories, it might scare you for a minute, and you might feel Jax's presence in the back of your mind sort of activate, so to speak. But you do have enough composure to, even if that scares you, you have enough composure to still access memories across personas. Do you remember it? The bloodbath you created on your way out was magnificent. I want to know what the origin was of your binding.
If I recall correctly, the memory that we've seen before of this moment was Jax in like her study or in some room, and there was glass vials, and he saw one, and it opened up, it spilled open, and somehow he made contact with whatever fluid was on the inside. And I think that's where the vision has ended. But do I get more of that? Like what happened next?
I would say with that charisma saving throw, you do recall, even if vaguely, the sensation of the immediate connection of the second you touched, it lurched and grasped onto your hand and forced its way, suffusing through the skin and extending throughout your entire bloodstream and body. And then you just remember guards breaking in, and before you knew it, you were holding this Vanta Black longsword and cutting your way through soldiers, slashing the gates, the bars on the gates of the prisoners, leading them all out. And that sort of ends your memory. And when you woke up, you were yourself, Jiri.
I remember finding my father's spirit, his essence, taking hold of it, him binding with me, summoning his sword and fighting my way out. I feel as though if I needed to, I could do so again.
Perhaps you could, Jiri. Perhaps you could. Hyperivel has grown alongside you. His mind is still wildly fractured, and it has certainly fractured your own mind. Of that I am certain. And though he may never be restored to what he supposedly was once, he has grown. He's less feeble than when I saw him last. I would like to try something new. This will be very illuminating. And as she considers what she's about to try, I want to check in on our 3 people that are currently in the cells. What are you guys currently doing? I know Rome was interested in trying something soonish. I don't know if enough time has passed where you want to try this. They will functionally be in this sort of experimentation phase for a little bit. What are you guys doing inside your very rudimentary cell blocks?
I want to attempt to start casting plant growth to attempt to grow a structure that looks exactly like Rome. So I want to grow another one of me, just like as a replica, you know what I mean? Like kind of in the corner. So I'm gonna sit in the corner and then like behind myself start to grow another one of me, but I want it to be done over a course of an 8-hour period so that it's permanent.
Okay. You can begin that casting for sure. No material components required with that casting?
No, it's just verbal and somatic.
Perfect. Yeah, you are absolutely able to begin that process. How about Toby, Roulette?
The moment the door was closed, I got on my knees and began praying. And just spending time in prayer, not trying to cast any magic, just intently meditating, praying. And that's just what I'm doing.
Okay.
Roulette's notebook is out. The second she was in there, she just opened up to a new blank page, and she is doing a full stock inventory of everything in the room and on her. She is taking measurements of the room. She's making note of any cracks, trying to figure out materials of all of the walls and size of the door, and she's just writing down as many details as possible about the room. She's definitely like pacing it out to get length, width, height, tapping on every stone she probably can. But yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll come back to you guys in a minute. Back to Jiri for a moment. Jiri, she will retrieve from inside one of her cloak vestments. She's got kind of a lined leather vest underneath one of her cloaks that has just, as she pulls it, you can see rows and rows of those little hourglass vials. She takes one. I promised mitigated harm, so I will be careful with the ones I select. And she just crushes it into her hand, and you can see that little shards penetrate her skin, and she bleeds in a couple spots. And the vapor starts to coalesce around her hand, and she waves her staff. And as she waves her staff, the vapor sort of stays together and drifts over toward you, Jiri. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
I've taken like 8 pages of notes since it started.
I've written 2 things down. I've written 2 things down. I'm stunned trying to form thoughts.
On a nat 1, you feel odd sensations take your bones for a moment as this vapor forces its way into every pore, every orifice in your face it can find. But then the sensation passes entirely. Wow. You are even immune to that. I knew you would be, and yet I didn't want to believe it.
Dude.
I don't know what you're doing to me.
Mutable form.
I have protection from many magics. As a prince of Jarland, my royal galactic enchantments and sortilege will protect me, even in an evil place such as this.
Sure.
Interesting, interesting.
It's like hard not to like her because she's going through what Telperian's been going through.
Yeah. It's this weird, horrible sense of mutual understanding.
Telperian's kind of like, finally.
All right. It is time. I do need a sample of your blood. Princeling, you can watch over this if you like, just to make sure I'm not making any sleight of hand or unnecessary cuts. And she will rifle through a drawer on one of these desks and pull out, very well organized, a syringe.
No, I can't let you have my blood. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. This portion is not negotiable. Hold still for just a moment.
No, back off.
Wisdom save, please.
No, but that means the syringe is going to be an auto crit.
You are, as you start backing away instinctively, your muscles lock up and you are frozen in place as her hold person does enact itself on you. Sorry for the forcefulness, but I will keep things minimal. And she will move up to your arm and slip the needle point under your skin and extract a bit of blood and retrieve the needle. Then she will lose concentration on her hold person and you gain composure over your physicality once more.
Well, I want some of your blood then in return.
Okay. She takes a small knife, makes a cut on her arm, kind of scrapes it along the arm. Here, play with that for a minute, and gives you a knife.
Does she actually have blood?
Yeah, she actually has blood.
Okay, I didn't think you were gonna do that, so I don't know what to do with this knife. So I'm just gonna put it down.
She's already lost in thought, looking up toward, letting the flickering flame light of this area sort of light the blood, and it just seems like standard blood.
This is not good, Telpiron. There's a lot of stuff she can do in Jawland now.
All right, this is helpful, but in Princeling, you've been great. But I need to gather the surfaces of your tinkerer. Let us. You can walk with me if you like, Jiri and Telperion, but I need to trade you guys out. Please come with me.
I go.
And Telperion, she will lead you to this cell and put her hand on the doorway, and it will slide away. I will come collect you again in time and allow you to go into this cell block. Jiri, you're welcome to follow if you would like, or you can stay back if you would prefer.
Am I going in?
She'll make her way down the hallway.
Can I ask her for chalk?
Chalk?
Yeah.
I will make some available to you shortly if I consider your behavior appropriate.
We'll ask.
Soon, dear, soon. Roulette, you will hear a small hum of arcane energy and your door slides away and you see Moira there. If you don't mind, I'd like to acquire your services for a moment. I have something I think you might help me look at for a moment.
Of course. And my head is down in my notebook, and I will follow, but I'm still writing in my notebook the entire time.
Perfect. She will lead you out of the room and head in to back where Jiri is. All right. I thought I might get a more, let's say, local look at this vial of blood. Please do come over here, and she will escort you guys over to this table, and she will squirt a small drop of the blood and place it between two glass panels, and she will put it on a very distinct quartz block. It's about an inch deep, about a foot by a foot, and she pulls over an apparatus that has this beautiful amber crystalline apparatus over it, and she pulls it down on its series of levers and places it organizes it so that it levers as low as possible toward this little blood sample she has. Take a look. What do you see? Asking.
Is it effectively a microscope?
It is effectively an arcane or enhanced version of a microscope, yes.
I will set my notebook down. I will pencil at the ready, and I will take a look in whatever viewing apparatus she has put in front of me.
Please make a nature check with advantage.
I don't know why it keeps rolling 3.
It's on your
Yeah,
second
that is
one. It's
weird.
saying like 2d20 KH1 plus 8.
Oh yeah, that is weird.
I don't know what's causing
I'm not
that,
sure
but-
what's happening that, yeah. But with a 24, you're able to quickly see sort of a microscopic scale of this drop of blood pressed and spread out amongst these two glass panels. And has Roulette ever looked carefully like this in a scientific way at blood, or has that sort of biological interest not really ever been her thing?
No, most she's looked at as her hand.
Okay. It's definitely foreign to you, but it does sort of unlock very quickly at least a sense of scale for how much is contained in our blood. You see various particulate matter and odd-shaped almost organisms that sort of move slightly or are just suspended in fluid and drifting, and they're all various shapes, and you can't help but imagine they have different functionalities for the building blocks of life. And most specifically, you see these perfect circles, less amorphous than the others, that are just like moving towards other bits. And then she takes one of those vials, it cracks it in her hand, swirls it with her staff, and it tries to suffuse the blood. And as it does so, you see those perfect spherical circular dots in this blood, just almost like a frog might extend a pseudopod, like their tongue rapidly to grab something. These things just stick out and catch little particles of this thing and seemingly fully contain and suffocate them. It's very unique looking, but you're not necessarily sure what it might mean on a biological scale.
Minute on the Zoom.
Cool, let's hop zooms.
Jump. I will be I won't be looking away, but I will be actively writing down everything I'm seeing. Is she standing next to me? Because I'm assuming she. I will. Did Tim freeze, or is Tim just like? Oh no, he blinked.
Just staring off into the world.
Yeah.
Without looking away, I will reach up with my left hand while I'm writing with my right hand, and I will say, "Can I borrow you for a second, or at least that thing on your shoulder?" And I will try and just like find her arm and reach my way up to the pauldron.
Okay.
I will. I just need you to come a little closer, and I will try and just like guide her shoulder down towards the blood. And I will
feel one thing that you just feel is it's not exactly the same thing as a resistance. If you're trying to pull someone and they're resisting you pull, you might feel sort of the force of them pulling back. It's more of the way she comes down and accommodates your sort of suggestion feels like a statue moving forward. It's like it has the sensation of it's moving. She's moving because she wants to, not because you're pulling her down. There's it's different than resistance. It's like a Fine, I will do this.
I'm still staring at it, and I will like hold up my notebook over my head, and there's a line that says "Dread Iron Proximity: and then just underline, waiting to like put the next line of whatever it is there, and I'm like, do this, and then I will put it back down. I'm specifically trying to see if the blood reacts to like proximity to the Dread Iron.
Oh, I see. Yes, I can understand how you'd think that. As she gets closer to you, don't see any change in behavior of those particles. She pulls away. She says, yes, those dots that you have already sussed out are not bits of the Dread Iron form in Jiri. That is a separate entity. It lives coinciding with his bloodstream, but it's not in it. It's not like the metal has infused his bloodstream as much as it has learned to nestle up beside it. They are two differences. I think this individual's bloodstream, Jiri, is distinctly different and still separate, technically. No, those are unique cells. Not many individuals have them. I have them. Some other individuals have them, but they do resist physical change. My hope here is to find a way for these vials to be able to affect those that are immune to such change. If we can ignore resistance to immutability, we make this weapon even more effective. And I do not say weapon in a way that will be used against creation allies or your army. It's actually a different kind of weapon, not one that injures others, ideally, but rather one that empowers the inhalant.
In my notebook, I will have written out in this big open page immutable subjects, and I'll like start a list, and I'll put Jiri / Jax / Hex / and I'll do like 6 different names on there on one line. The second line I will put Moira, and then I'll put a dash on the third line. So I'm just staring at the blood the entire time. I'm not looking up. I'll hold it up. I'm like, anyone else on this list?
Not that you need to worry about for now. It's pretty comprehensive. Are these all of the different personas you've gained from interactions with Jiri?
I'm sure there's more, but you can venture into his head if you want to find him.
Oh, I've tried briefly, and I got a clear picture of what I think the situation is. Jiri, are you able to access their memories? Changing personas on the fly? Or do you think that you are you?
What do you mean? I am me. I've always been me. Was born Jajiri, Jarl of Jaland. I've always been Jajiri, Jarl of Jaland. But something happened here when I was imprisoned. I think you put a bunch of memories in my head, and now I can access some of them. Some of them I've destroyed. Ones that were trying to take over my body.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I could never destroy Jax. Kept coming back. He was too powerful.
I think Jax, that persona, may be so stubborn because it's the form you took in the original binding. As long as Experiment 3H is within you, Jax will be, in some form or another.
Well, that's not good.
Would you like me to try to separate you from Experiment 3H? I know Hyperivel has made his opinion on the matter clear. He wants to be separate, learn more of who he is. Would you like that too? It may put Jax's memory far from your mind.
I would like to get rid of Jax. Can't get rid of my dad. He's got to go back to Jarland, become king again. His body is there. I want him to be removed when we get his body. So if you want to come to Jarland with us, you can put him in his body there.
I love watching her make what she will of these statements.
I'm having some wild theories right now. And I think some are worth following up on, but others maybe not. Okay, how about this? Even if I could separate the two of you, I wouldn't necessarily need to physically to take him away. I might be able to extract him from your pores, from your veins, like a transfusion of sorts. And then, if you wish, we can contain him in another arcane crystal and carry him around. Would you let me try that?
Well, it's gonna be up to my dad. I'll ask him. But I think what he wants back is his memories. Where have you been keeping those?
They are not something I have stored in a trunk. They are fundamentally, I believe, separated from his being. I don't know much about his origin, but when we summoned him for the original experiment, he was already a broken, fractured entity, far beneath his supposed stature, but a powerful Deva nonetheless.
Eva. Jinn? I think is the word you're thinking of, but
No, Jinn can be powerful entities, and maybe different cultures have granted them different connotations. But no, Hyperivel was unquestionably of divine origin. That's why we needed him. We needed to try to
Oh my God.
replicate the experiments of old. We needed to try to bind a celestial being to a weapon as a stepping stone for future ambitions. But the Dread Iron series was not refined enough yet. It couldn't take it. And a fractured mind didn't help the situation. And the planar binding we enacted melted the metal, sundered it entirely, profoundly, irreversibly. And I believe when you touched it, it did the same to your mind. Perhaps irreversibly so.
did you tell Piran I was right?
I'm not there.
She got a few things wrong, but it's okay. We don't need to tell her. She can remain ignorant of her errors.
Oh, my errors are well documented. I've had to build on them. And I think we can do better next time. But first things first, allow me to try and separate Hyperivel from your form. It might be painful, but I do not wish to harm you in this process. Roulette, you can oversee the procedure and make sure I'm not doing anything untoward in your opinion.
I'm actively like putting tiny little fires underneath the blood and then like casting shocking grasp on it to see how the blood reacts, and just taking a lot of notes.
It's definitely getting damaged and scorched in sort of mostly normal sensory interactions on a chemical level, except for that vile situation you experienced.
I will finish my set of notes and I will turn around and I'm holding my notebook and I'm just pencil at the ready.
Okay.
All right, Dad, what do you think? This is what you want?
Hyperivel. It means nothing to me. Yes. Let us see if she can separate us.
Yeah, even if we're separated, Dad, I'll take you back to Jalen. Don't you worry.
All right. Pardon me. Moira goes to another desk and takes out a small, what looks like a jewelry box. And she plucks from it a black amethyst that's rather large and closes the box. She mutters, almost whispering to the jewel, and it just slowly dissolves into dust, almost being ground to a powder by arcane means in her hand. And it coats her hand, spreading, and she grabs onto your arm, Jiri. And you feel a cold sensation as all of the hex metal is pulled throughout your whole body toward this one arm. And then she completes the spell, and you feel that lock the hex metal in place, binding it to a specific location on this plane of existence. I will bring you back immediately, I promise. And she, with a whirl of her staff, touches your forehead, Jiri. And Roulette, you see Jiri disappear. And in his place is just this amorphous sludge of goo suspended in air. Oh my god. Quick, Roulette, that crystal right there that you see on that desk, please grab it for me.
I will grab the crystal. Can I tell what it is as I'm picking it up?
It looks like a very thick, very clearly arcanely imbued crystal beaker, like would be set on top of a plaque to contain like a trophy of some kind.
I will pick it up and carry it over.
She kind of scoops the amorphous sludge into it, moves it over, places it on the desk, puts a finger to her forehead, and lets go of the plane shift. Jiri, you appear back in this space and are shivering. You were just in an expanse of nothing but ice and mountainous crevasses and a swirling storm overhead that was blizzarding, sheer cliffs, and it was all just jet black. But you are brought back here, and you can't tell if it was that location or the hex metal removed from your body that is causing this sudden onslaught of a cold chill you're experiencing through your whole body. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
Jeez, man.
Oh man, 1-1-2.
You take a point of exhaustion.
Jiri
As
falls
your-
to his knees and he's got his like hand in his face.
And there is a unique mental sensation you're experiencing, Jiri. It is like you're freezing, but it's like you're falling. There's nothing to stand on. It's like you can't get firm ground even when you pad the ground on it. You just feel like all the memories, disjointed as they were before, were bliss compared to this. You just feel nothingness in your mind. And it is really affecting your ability to breathe normally, to maintain your blood pressure, your heart rate. You're just feeling yourself almost like an immediate withdrawal from a drug at the removal of the hex metal from your body.
Roulette has run over and dropped to like anchor him, to at least like try. I see him shivering, trying to warm him up.
Yeah, Jiri just has his hands in his face and he's like, you can hear him like crying and sobbing, and he's trying to whisper like Jiri, Jarl of Jarland, but his like words kind of falter and he can't really get the sentences out.
I did it. I actually separated you. I need another blood sample. One more. That's it. Then you can rest. You can and she starts to get a little frantic, and will ruffle through a drawer, get another syringe. Roulette, he probably needs a tender touch at this moment. Would you take a small sample of his blood, please? I have to document this. And she rushes over to another desk to start loosely scrawling notes, and brings the arcane crystal of the sludge over with her. And Jiri, you currently do not have your sword or any benefits of the hex metal with you, including any spell slots or pact magic. Roulette, what do you do? Are you tending to Jiri in any specific ways? Do you take his blood as requested?
No, I'm holding him, just like trying to make him feel better. I don't care if she tried to hand me something, I would not have reacted.
Okay.
But I'm just ignoring her and just kind of coddling, comforting Jiri.
I wonder, what if its presence inside the blood? And you just hear her mumbling to herself, as she starts to scrawl and write and take notes and flip pages and look for other research she's done. Thank you. Roulette, you can see to him for a moment, can't you? I have to take care of something. Please come with me. I'll escort you back to your cell. As per our agreement, you can stay with him. I'll lead each of you to your cell. And she will escort you guys out of this room, down the hall, and back toward your room, Roulette, and allow you and a shivering, possibly traumatized Jiri to go in, and she shuts the door. As she shuts the door, she starts calling out and rushing down the hallway. We need a war mage, perhaps a dozen or so soldiers, a handful of guardians, and I think we can spare a Wraith Watcher too. See to their security for a moment. And you just hear echoing down the hall as Moira is leaving this area, her fading footsteps. And Roulette specifically, actually Toby Rama too, based on your cell's location, can make a perception check. Unless Toby Rama's checked out. Okay. Okay. You just hear commotion down the hallway as she leaves.
You say Toby's not paying attention?
Yeah.
Toby's fixated in prayer and yeah.
Are there like blankets in the room?
There are very rudimentary like sacks and like hay sacks thrown in there for figure out your bedding yourself. Yes.
I'll grab whatever's there and I'll just like throw it over Jiri. Just like sitting down next to him, very much in a like protective sister mode, trying to warm him up.
Okay. Jiri, anything specific you're doing? Thoughts you're having? Things you're saying?
Jiri's pretty like catatonic right now. He's like shivering, he's whimpering, and he's like trying to communicate with Roulette. And he's like mumbling something about like the walls, the memories, they're one. They're all no, they can't be. Jajiri Yal Jalan. Jajiri Yal Jalan.
Very well. Toby, Telperion, and Rome. What are you guys continuing to be up to? I know Toby's still praying, and Rome, you're still working on your plant growth, creating a false Rome in your room. Anything else you guys want to specify that you're doing?
How much time has elapsed? Would you say like?
I would say in the course of this early experimentation stuff, like 2 hours ish. So you're well into the creation of your creature. You're seeing little bits of sprouts of roots peek their way through the stone encased walls of this place, and a small bit of rubble and debris sort of crumbles and cracks and falls away from the walls as little bits of plant growth sort of slowly work their way into the subterranean area.
Yeah, I would specify that like those roots are very, very small. Like I want to like maintain the structural integrity of the room. Like I don't want to be causing too much noise, but I do want to be like cracking the rock like so that something very small could fit through.
Perfect.
I'm probably like an hour and a half into a trance, and thinking about the I almost said a Laylor. Thinking about the polar bear from
Sure. Aeolas.
Aeolas. The only reason Telperion even consented to any of this is because he's thinking about Cecilia and that whole idea of going out and learning. And so he's trying to reflect like he's never reflected before on those trance memories that Aeolas had talked about, and trying to remember, just trying to embody her as much as possible, being in this place too, where he's hoping her journal is still here, or that journal, from not Delta, but
Yes. As a very quick recap, it was Eluil,
LOL,
who is the founder of Lux Monastery, now dead, was half rumoredly, according to Delta, half Ilealor, and his father Illicent, a full Ilealor and descendant to some degree of the events of the Sundering long ago, had a journal that was kept here as like a sort of relic of importance for his journeys and the establishment of this monastery, and they kept it like it was a real historical artifact. So it was Illicent's journal provided by Eluil, the founder of this monastery. You're also thinking about them.
Yeah, just like trying to piece together how getting himself in this fucked up situation is gonna was a leap of faith, and trying to just pull back some memories if you can.
Give me a history check with disadvantage.
Oh my gosh, 12 was my lower. 19. No, yeah, 19.
Wow, that's really good. Aeolas's teachings suggested that it's very difficult, but possible, to become so acutely in touch with your past lives that you can access their memories almost in the same sense of like go into your mind palace and extract a single useful nugget of information. Getting trance memories or echoes of the past to any degree is extremely difficult for elves to get that. It's lucky and it's considered a good omen when they get any glimpse accidentally from a past life. To be able to access that intentionally is extremely difficult. But whether it's facilitated by your own connection to a past life, or maybe that small telepathic nugget that Chiron Allspring put in your mind, as you think about Eluil and Illicent, as you think of visualizing the name Illicent, you almost hear a female voice say it out loud. That's all.
Do I think it's her?
Could be.
Yeah. And I keep trying to sing.
Toby Rama, in your prayer and meditation, where are you guiding your thoughts right now?
Yeah, it's very intentional, and I wanted to at always get that across before any response, if any. I'm very intentionally not trying to access any magic. I'm just trying to provide my thoughts. I will lead with an apology of a sort and an acknowledgement of what I did in not openly proclaiming my faith to someone else, and try and not excuse but provide reason in that everything I have now learned about and seen from this woman, I think she is a stain on existence, and trying to so casually play with life. I wasn't in that room, so I don't know that there's matters of divinity at play. But so casually play with life and trying to use it to fuel a commodity, a weapon, and I will continue to learn and try and inform my judgment, and I felt it was required for me to not. I felt revealing my dedication to Killenvor would kind of lock me out from understanding her more. I'll provide that intentionality, and then I will try and just start reflecting on whether the lives she sacrifices and imbues into things, if that's what she's doing, if their souls are able to pass on, or if that is also part of what is trapped in these creations. So, trying to serve by action, and if I need to also loudly proclaim, I will accept judgment and penance, but I did what I thought was serving a greater purpose.
Go ahead and make a wisdom check in your meditation. With a 15, you don't hear a new crack, but almost like the far-off reverberation of a concussive knock. And you instinctively recall the crack you heard in your mind in the original tent conversation with Moira. Not a new instance of this, but a reminder of it. And you just feel a sensation of the Deva that watches over you, that has guided you. Many times it has suggested throughout your journey of being confident in your decisions and making judgment calls. You made a poor one when it came to Rhea, but you've also made good ones. You saved Ezrin. You saved his soul and brought him back to life, not in a way that defiled death, but judged that he was worth more, perhaps alive. This concussive echo in the background of your mind now is just a reminder of the crack you heard when you said, I follow the Raven Queen. It's not an admonishment, looking down on, but more of a gavel hitting an iron, wooden desk, decreeing, this is the judgment I have passed. You get the sense that you are not, there's no penance required for making judgment calls you deem fit. That is part of the trust you have gained in their worship.
I will.
And hopefully that gives you some semblance of confidence that your actions may matter more than your words flippantly in a conversation.
I will embrace openly the reminder and request aid and never forgetting that.
Would you please roll a D100 for me?
That's how many hit points he loses.
Okay, thank you.
Majority.
And after I process that and give that what I deem adequate dedication, I'll start piecing through and thinking about Moira and what she is and what sort of threats she poses, and now it's clear that she seeks something larger than wars between nations.
Okay. We're now at the point where several hours are gonna pass. Is there anything you guys will actually also be allowed to long rest? Even if it's uncomfortable, you will have adequate time to still your heartbeats, calm your adrenaline, be able to rest meaningfully enough to restore. I also think restoring full hit points isn't like cuts and bruises and stuff healed overnight, but rather those don't hurt as bad anymore. You have the vitality to continue another day, even if so you're a bit banged up and bruised from the warfare skirmish and stuff, but otherwise you're able to fully heal, get back any spell slots you have, recover. You're able to long rest. Is there anything you guys want to do in a long rest endeavor? Rome, your false Rome will be able to be created in this time frame.
The only other thing that I wanted to do was commune with nature.
Okay, you can do that. Is that 3 questions you want to ask the surrounding environment? Cool. What questions you got?
My first question is, like, where are we? Like, I don't think we actually know like where on the map we are, so I don't know if that's possible to know. Like, are we in? I'm assuming we're in the material plane, but where?
You don't, but I think Telperion does, right?
The 4 of us know where we are. If we know Lux
yeah.
Monastery, because we were here.
A couple most of the players except Rome know now. A couple of the characters know. I will throw us to this screen real quick because Rome, you will get this intel as you cast the spell. You have been transported seemingly from, I want to get to freehand. We'll do blue. You have been transported from the camps at Athros to Lux Monastery, an old monastic structure that was built on top of seemingly some sort of underground facility or dungeon or prison or just basement, cellar. But you have been transported much closer to the capital, dozens of miles away from the army or any allies.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well then, I guess, do I sense any of my Mytholine sister or brothers nearby?
I'll say pretty definitively no. Sometimes in your communing, you've gained sort of like remnants of traces of their different journeys, almost like echoes of where they once may have walked or roamed. You don't detect any of that here now.
Okay, my last question is, do I sense any like animal life within the walls of this monastery?
Fair,
right? Predator 2.
Yes.
I think no. We're so in the thick of dead of winter, any wildlife in this area would have found some wildlife to hibernate in, or maybe birds flying south for the winter. There might be insects throughout this space to some degree, but there's no rodents in the walls of this stone structure. It's fairly void of life.
There's no birds like nesting in the rafters of the monastery or anything.
No, I will say there are there's outside, you're getting a sensory understanding of the radius of a couple miles around this place, so you can feel the small critters on the beach west of you. You can feel the touch of the ocean life at the shoreline. You can feel a bird fly south at this moment. You can feel I think they're, what are they? It's not snow-tailed, but it's snow-capped or something. A winter hawk just resting on top of one of the building structures of the roof of this place. So there's bits and pieces of life, but not communable life within this space to reach out to easily.
Okay. I will have taken my long rest after I've, I guess, finished my plant dummy and done this commune.
Oh, Crit, when I, as a wizard, rest, do I need my spellbook to change the spells that I have prepared?
You have to be using the spellbook to memorize. I think the spellbook contains the spells, but you're memorizing 3 out of those 8 spells per day. So I do think you have to have the spellbook with you to change your memorized spells. Otherwise, your spells that you have memorized are the same from the previous day.
I look around my cell for some dirt.
Okay, you can chip away some stone, wedge a well, you don't have much, do you? But what do you have? The yukata. You can dig your fingers. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of.
And I do a couple side punches to like try to get some dirt.
Get some rubble, get some gravel.
Yeah. You can find some weak portions of stone that are crumbling away, and you can dig your fingers into the grout in between some stone, and it's painful work, but you can get a tiny bit of dirt.
Okay. I got one long strider on me now, and I pocket the dirt.
Okay.
At the end of the long rest, I am going to infuse my pencil with enhanced weapon, and I'm going to infuse my mundane boots with boots of the winding. Oh no, I don't have boots of the winged boots.
And
okay, let's jump sims.
Infusing does not require anything apart from the object that's being infused.
Okay, no components required for infusing. Awesome. It doesn't even require like tinkering tools or anything like that. Okay.
No.
And then
that's what I thought. I thought it did.
Arcane weapon is same thing. No material component, just somatic or verbal.
So not arcane weapon. This is one of my infusions that I have for.
Oh, a different infusion. Got it. Enhanced weapon or something.
Enhanced weapon. My pencil now has a +2 to attack and damage.
Wow. Okay. I will still consider that an improvised weapon. That's not even at the level of dagger, so it will be like a plus whatever to roll, and then a 1 damage +2. Yeah. So you have enhanced your pencil, magically reinforcing it. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Some prep done. Jiri, how are you proceeding in this long rest? / what might Roulette see, hear, etc.?
Like a curled up Jiri, sobbing, and he's asking Roulette, gotta go back for it. I gotta get it back, Roulette. We gotta get out of here.
We'll get it.
No, now. We need to go now.
Jerry, I'm not sure how we're getting out of here right now.
and he just, is sobbing. He's crying the entire time.
Also, my mundane Four Winds ring is now a spell refueling ring.
Okay. Ring, pencil, boots.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, time passes. And Tobirama, you're the first to wake. As there's a knock on your door.
It's a dog.
Let me figure out how to do this. A reaver enters your room, Tobirama. Get up. Time for transport. Looks like you're getting a meeting with His Majesty.
I will get up. And this is post long rest, so okay.
I will delete this for a second. Hopefully no one else is going to see this until it gets to their room, but he will exit and say, "Hold for a moment till I gather the others. Don't try anything, or one of the guardians will surely take you down." And he'll just move across, and you hear a series of tinking down the hallway. Like tick, 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 tick. And then coming into view in front of you is this.
You suck.
Same thing then to Roulette and Jiri. Transport, meeting with His Majesty and the Talon. Prepare yourselves. We leave in a few minutes. Don't try anything. One of the guardians will tend to you until we leave. And he will leave.
There is not getting up. Seems like he's incapable of walking.
And one of these appears in front of your cells. And now that Roulette has seen it, I'll go ahead and show it to everyone.
Oh, God.
But a series of darker colored iron spheres, glowing red with runic inscriptions all over their bodies, are seemingly at the command of these individuals at this time. They seem more rudimentary than the Alfie you remember, and cheaper, which has certainly facilitated their mass production. And Telperion, or Rome, and then Telperion, the Reaver will come to collect all of you, opening the doors and showing the Iron Guardians at his side. All right, let's head out then.
I will stay next to Jiri, and as Telperion goes to walk by, Telperion, you mind helping me with him?
I'll scoop him.
Scoop?
When they try and take me away, I'm gonna transform into a very small spider and climb into a crack.
Okay.
And they can try and take my plant body.
Yes, they definitely, as they wake you, they're like, "The fuck? Get up. Come on, spirit, get up." And he kind of like gives you a kick, and the brambles just kind of like fall over like a scarecrow might. The hells? All right, maybe the Talon can make something of this. And just hoists it under his arm and carries out a bramble of a fake Rome under his arm.
Meanwhile, I'm on my mission. Cracks
Yeah. Are you gonna follow out as you see the rest of your friends starting to be escorted down this hallway, or are you gonna stay back here in the cells?
I'm gonna. I mean, I get the sense that if I were to like follow them, they would know that I was there. So I'm just gonna. I'm gonna explore the cracks of this castle and like kind of like be close by, but not in the same room as them.
Okay. We'll tackle that next time on how to what degree that's possible, what routes are available.
Okay, perfect.
But as you guys begin to be led out by a Reaver and a series of 4 Iron Guardians with a song that sounds like this.
We go meet.
For Breath of the Wild. We'll call it there and pick back up next time.
Oh, man, he's really interested.